30.5 degrees Celsius over here.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That's not as bad as it gets.
Nope.
That's rough, buddy.
Yeah.
I
I
feel
can't even
bad.
imagine what's going on in Vegas.
It's funny, actually, we're getting affected by the hurricane in Mexico, California. So it should be 46 degrees Celsius, 115 degrees Fahrenheit this time of year. But it is currently 70 degrees Fahrenheit, 21.1 degrees Celsius.
Well, I bet that's a nice break.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're getting a year's worth of rain today and tomorrow.
Holy cow.
Oh, it's like in Britain.
Yeah. It's actually really funny because we can't handle this amount of rain. It's not crazy stormy. It's just constant rain, which is new for us. We have not lost power yet, but there is a lot of people who have lost cell phone and power throughout the valley.
Oh, it's been that bad.
Yeah.
See, I was going to make jokes about, it being Britain every day over there, but if they're losing that is rough.
The thing about it is we've been in like a 10 or 12-year drought at this point. So
that's all coming at once.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh.
So yeah, we're getting a year's worth of rain in 2 days, which is like only like 17 inches or something like that. It's ridiculous, but yeah.
That's still a lot all at once. That's mad.
It's good times. But yes, so I think we're live. I might have hit a button. Oh well. Oh yeah, so we're live.
Wait, did Shree say anything off color? Did Shree say anything off color before he came live?
No, probably not.
You're gonna get us cancelled one of these days.
One of these days, I'm going to miss a session and make one of you guys do the recap.
Oh yeah. Dude, who wants to recap for us?
Let's see if I can remember what happened last time. I do know we showed up in the city, boat crashed in, Goblin farted.
Oh yeah, Cedar's brother's really cool.
He's awesome. I love him.
He is the coolest.
He is the coolest. Best
Dana
living
has a
sibling.
shock. Kidis is not the one with a shot collar on her. Dana is.
I've forgotten about the shot collar.
Yeah.
So, but I'm very pleased about that. I'm sorry. I'm still very pleased that Dana's the one with the shock collar.
Have you guys seen Battle Royale? Or the other one would be, what would it be? Alice in Borderland did it recently as well.
I've seen Alice in Borderland. I've not seen the second season of Alice in Borderland, but I've seen the first season.
Remember the I think it was episode 2 in the apartment where they had the shooters had the exploding collars.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Yep. Something along those lines.
Yeah.
But anyway,
that is a good
so
show.
Dana's in trouble because of Scarred Woman. We're not here. Cedar's preparing a speech, and Dana and Kidis...
No, Cedar's not preparing
No.
Sophie's preparing a speech.
Cedar's unconscious right now.
Cedar's unconscious.
Yeah. But Kidis and Dana went to go check out the boat that's now on the side of the mountain because the Fae Queen kept her deal and just took the boat from the ocean into the mountain.
And Silverco is alone with Gale.
Yep. And because...
Not Gale's alone with Silverco. Silverco's alone with Gale.
And Cedar just passed out on the floor.
I'm not locked in here with you. You're locked in here with me.
Because Cedar was dumb. Cedar was stupid. Cedar decided to
right now.
Oh my god.
I heard you tell me that you really don't want the same amount of intensity session-wise, like for your personal character arc. So take that energy and remember what she's going through.
Yeah, I don't want this. I'm not the one that's just like, hey, let's give my bird more trauma. I'm like, no, my little character should have fun time.
We always give the bird more trauma. That's how we do things in this gaming.
I was telling Charisse, I was telling her, like, her character arc is probably going to be the Barbie next to the other 3 Oppenheimers.
But in
just
any
an absolute pain confused.
Breslин's going to start singing about how he's enough.
How Cedar ended up unconscious was because Cedar created a telepathy link with Silverco and was like, hey, let's meet up. And then she saw that, kind of lost her temper a little bit because her cousin is on a leash. Then they met up and they would had this whole confrontation. It was amazing. But then Silverco was like, hey, he had something in his hand, and she was stupid and took it. She took the bait. He baited her, and she took it, and now she's unconscious because of a nightmare stone.
To be fair, she did try to like use the taking of the gift to try and like get a knife to his throat. It just didn't work out like I planned.
No, never.
Really cool move though.
You yelled at me about the stupid toast, and then you just took something you didn't know what it was out of a bad guy's hand. I'm very obviously bad guy's
So
hand.
now
And
we're
you got mad at me
even.
about toast.
Okay, look.
So that's
just
what happened
because
last
you-
session.
Just because you dodge consequences, like you got the dodge feature, the uncanny dodge or evasion or whatever it is, doesn't mean everyone else does.
Yeah, but you decided, hey, you're the one that decided, hey, DM, you know what? Let's make my entire arc trauma.
Speaking of,
the
DM
Liam-
can't wait for Kiddis's arc.
Please don't. I don't want trauma.
I went with the
Please
Liam
let
O'Brien
me
school.
know. I don't want it. I
I
want
went with
my
the Liam
wedding.
O'Brien School of Character Creation. Okay, don't
What? Zemnian.
no traumatize every single character and make them sad.
No.
Eldritch
I
Blaze.
want a wedding. That's what I want. I want a wedding. I want a very happy wedding. I want so much happiness, and I want it to be an acid trip. I don't want
Get
trauma.
in line.
Get on the trike, Candace.
Meanwhile,
Candace, we have to go.
meanwhile, I have Dana making characters for me, and it's gonna take place in Shadowfell. What?
Oh no, no.
I want happiness.
I'm not being
Rain.
flipped off this time. It's not me.
Rain.
This time.
No,
I
no.
want happiness. You traitor. Give my character happiness and joy.
I'll work some happy. You'll have a happy ending. You'll have a happier ending than Cyberpunk.
What the launch or the actual game?
She's not
Because-
dynamic.
Show.
I think you just yelled so loud your Discord cut you off, Sharice.
Yeah.
Yes. Cyberpunk does not have a good ending, Doku.
It really
That's what I said,
doesn't.
yours will be marginally better.
Keanu, no.
By how much? I want this joyous ending. Where you're just sitting here and you're like, how can this have happened? We don't know. This character is so spoiled.
When we get
Kenneth
to
is not going to
when
sell
we get to
somewhere.
your
It's just being
arc,
spoon-fed.
we will have
happy
a one-on-one
memories.
before to discuss just kind of what your goals are.
Okay.
I may give you a wedding, maybe.
I want my wedding.
Red
Doku,
or purple?
wedding. I know you said, oh, it's one choice. No, it's not. There's not one choice. It's like one choice out of many. It is the choice.
You're like, I am actively all timelines, all dimensions, all arcs going for this.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, this is how prepared our DM is, everybody. He's tracking multiple timelines and dimensions.
Mm-hmm.
Get yourself a DM who can.
Speaking
But
of,
anyway-
I need my book. Where's my book?
I do apologize for the complete off trail, guys.
But yeah, so Cedar is completely unconscious. Dana and Kiddis are not in the room, and I feel the worst right now for Gale because he just saw that happen and has no idea what's going on.
He's gonna beat the crap out of Silverco.
I'm excited to see this, honestly. Let's go.
Let's go!
Let's go! Been waiting 2 weeks for this.
So we'll start our session in a small room with 2 doors. Cedar finds herself in this room alone. She looks left and looks right, and it is just a plain room, no windows. The walls are solid in one piece. Looks like they're made out of concrete. With the only options, really, to either stay still or try to find a way out.
This is weird. Okay. Not what I was expecting. Hello? No, that's not working. She goes to the door on the right and kind of just like opens it a little bit because she doesn't want to.
Roll a perception check.
All right. Oh gosh, that fell onto my blanket. That's okay. That's not bad at all. Give me a sec to get my character sheet. Just decided it wants to take a while to load. Thank you for choosing that now. Can you work like you're supposed to?
As long as Microsoft isn't updating.
19.
Oh well, with the 19, you can actually tell who it is. You hear Cernia's screech in the room on the other side of the wall.
Oh gosh.
So in the door behind you that you didn't enter, you hear her scream.
The door I didn't enter.
Yeah, you cracked the door. You didn't really see too much yet, but as you did, like the moment you open the door, you hear the screeching in the room behind you.
I go check the other door.
Cautiously, optimistically, or forcefully?
How does Cedar do anything? Cautiously.
With trauma.
So you crack the door?
Yeah.
Okay. The
I didn't know
door
if that was a statement or a question.
the door, the moment it cracks open, swings open with the fullest of force, and you see Silvico standing above Cernia, her looking up, and him just driving his sword through her beak, cutting into her throat, almost like a sword swallower, as he just impales her down into the ground with his sword and looks back at you smiling.
Dude.
I'm not going to let you play with my mind. I refuse. This is not real.
It's not real, is it? Go ahead and roll for me.
What am I rolling?
An insight.
17.
The images of the room fades, and you're now looking into a room with 2 doors.
Oh gosh, are we gonna just, is this a loop? I don't have time for this. And she goes to open the door on the right.
Okay. You actually see Pelly hanging on the wall, wings completely spread, and she's hanging her feet off the ground by about a foot, blood dripping from the wall behind her, and you can see nails and daggers pinning her wings to the walls as she just lays there, non-moving.
Cedar takes another deep breath. I said, you do not get to play with my mind. Not then, not now. I know this is fake. Just like your power. And honestly, this just shows me you're too much of a coward to face me in the waking world.
Roll a wisdom saving throw.
I don't like that. I don't like, oh, you little traitor. I'm gonna throw this dice across the room. That's a 6.
Now you know how I feel.
That's a fail.
Really? You rolled a 6?
What? No, really? I had no idea that was a fail, Charisse. Thank you for the observation.
You're welcome. You're so welcome.
Almost out of sheer spite, you, in the dream state or the nightmare state, you feel a gravity pushing you down from the roof and just pushing you into the ground with just force. And you feel this force like crushing the air from your lungs as you take 6 damage.
Okay.
And in the moment it stops, you kind of look up for a moment, and the image of Pelly is gone. You kind of pick yourself up off the floor, and as the room kind of gets its light back into your eyes, you see 2 doors.
Cedar just kind of looks at the doors. Oh my gosh. Is this what we're gonna do? Look, okay. Nightmare Lady, whatever the heck your name is, I don't know your name, but I want to have a conversation. You and me, and we leave that punk out of it, okay? I have an offer.
So, from your mind's eye, almost as if he's being pulled from your memory, a ghostly image of Strix appears
I
before you.
was waiting for you to go there. I knew you were going to go there at some
And
point.
his image just kind of fading in and out, cracking. And not in his voice, you actually hear the nightmare's voice coming from his ghostly image. I don't deal in trickery or tricks. What is it that you have that you think you can offer me?
Promise it's not a trick. I actually think that there's a way for us to have a more advantageous relationship for the both of us. And frankly, your current choice of ally, you can do better.
Are you saying you could bring more nightmares into all the little boys and girls of the world?
Oh, me? No. But I do have a friend of mine who I think would fit the bill quite nicely. See, she used to follow the purple fairy queen, but she seems to have discarded my friend. And I don't take kindly to my friends being discarded. My friend is, I think you've heard of her before, the Scarred Woman.
The dead woman walking? Sure.
Well, frankly, the way I see it is this. Sure, Silvico brings nightmares to me and my siblings, but beyond that, he's just another stuffy noble. The Scarred Woman, however, is a known serial killer and even sort of a boogeyman of sorts. I remember being told bedtime stories. If you don't eat your vegetables, the Scarred Woman will get you, etc., etc. Frankly, heard about her far before my run-in with Silvico. So, my friend needs a purpose to live. You need a better ally because, again, Silvico isn't cutting it, and frankly, I know his motivations are basically out of some compensative wish to control everything around him. And frankly, as a woman, I don't like that, and as a woman, I don't think you like that either, man. Because the difference between him and me, well, many differences, but one of them is that I don't see the Fae as something that can be or should be controlled. And I know that you think maybe because me and my friends are trying to be some type of heroes that we're against you. That's not true. Nightmares are what make us brave. Without something to fear, we wouldn't have something to become brave in the face of. You're very needed. Just as needed as Aquafina, even. So honestly, thank you for every nightmare that I've had. They've helped me live with the nightmare that is my waking hours. So honestly, you're just as needed as any of them. And me and my friends will acknowledge that.
Roll a persuasion with advantage.
Doku is just hiding his
hate,
face.
I hate being a DM on camera. I hate being a DM on camera.
What?
Nothing. I just said I hate being a DM on camera because I have no poker face. But yes, please roll a persuasion with yeah, persuasion with advantage.
18.
What?
18.
18? 18's pretty good.
It's better than what I usually roll.
Most things are better than what you usually roll.
A 1 would be better than what I usually roll.
You see now Strix actually warping into the twisted form of the nightmare woman that you're used to. Just that red eye appears before you, peering into your soul. It almost pierces and hurts, but you can tell it's kind of a smile. And she just responds thusly. She looks at you with that single eye piercing, and she kind of laughs. You can hear the laughter in her voice as she realizes And she says, "You don't really realize how naive you are, do you? The evil dealings that that man has committed is far greater than the docile, scarred woman that you created with your friendship to her. Now, has she produced nightmares and stories? Yes, and I have gotten my use out of the scarred woman. Very much so. She's quite tasty. When it comes down to it, what you've made her into is kind of useless to me. Although I do appreciate you for your words, and you do make a good point. So why don't you enter the next room, and maybe I will allow you to wake up." And both doors on the walls, plus the one that you entered from, become one door, and she points to it and then vanishes.
Cedar walks through the door.
You see your mother, and she runs up to you. "Cedar! Oh my gosh, is that you? Is that you, my Cedar? Finally, I'm saved."
You're not real. You didn't love me.
"But I am
You're not.
real. She took me from the island. She took me from the island. I'm alive. I'm just trapped."
This is a test.
It's not, please. You have to believe me, Cedar. You have to get me out of here. I watched what happened with your father. I watched him crumble. His dreams were met, but mine never were. I needed to reunite my family, and you've done that. You've given me hope. I can live. Just take me with you. And you see the tears rolling down her face.
Can I roll for insight?
Sure.
$19. Rolling so well. So
Seriously,
happy right now.
how?
So do you want to know if she's telling the truth, or do you want to know if she's actually your mother? What was your insight roll for?
If that's my mother.
Seems like it.
How do I get you out?
And she holds out her hand. "Just take me with you when you wake up."
What does that mean? Frankly, I have enough relatives in my head.
She's just there holding out her hand, crying.
Give me a reason to trust you.
She will recount your backstory of the day you ran away. But she will add that I'm just so proud that you did. You stood up to them, and although the family has been broken apart and lost, I've always admired you for being strong enough to follow your dreams.
And why didn't you ever do anything for me? Why didn't you protect me? You're my mother. That was your job.
And the tears now rolling even farther. "You got away. I knew you'd be safe, and I had to make sure that the rest of your brothers and sisters got their freedom as well."
I don't mean when I ran away. I meant before. If you and Dad had done something, Strix might still be here.
And she kind of sterns up a little bit, and "I know this is not what you want to hear, but I will give you honesty if you're sure you're ready for it."
Sure.
You were a pawn in a game of nobles. You were one of many sons and daughters, and you were the inn to make sure our family ruled for a long time. If you want the truth, it was a blessing he sought after you, and you were the sacrifice for the rest of the family.
While it does me good to hear you admit it, it doesn't fix anything. I'll take you with me, but we are not finished with this discussion. Frankly, I want my real family around when I have this discussion with you again. And so Cedar takes the hand. We're leaving.
Okay. So what Gale sees is Cedar kind of still. You understand that she's gripping this red stone, and Silvico and Nightmare leave the room completely. And if you want to contest it, you're more than able. But he steps over Cedar's body, and Nightmare then just begins to also kind of follow 2 steps back to the left, almost like a servant.
Yeah, Geralt's going to raise his voice and say, "Where do you think you're going?"
I'm getting ready for court. Where do you think you're going?
Oh, I'm going nowhere. And neither are you. How dare you? You pathetic, seeping waste of flesh. You're not fit to hold the station you hold. You're nothing but a creep who preys on the weak.
You're so weak, you're not even worth my prey, little boy. And he kind of pats your cheek a little bit.
I'm going to throat punch him.
Okay, make an attack roll.
Okay, that's going to be unarmed, I'm guessing.
Whatever you want to hit him with.
My fist.
Okay.
Oh, 19.
Okay, roll your damage.
My damage. Oh gosh, what is that?
Wait, if that's a 19, does that mean you got a natural 20 and just didn't say it?
I don't think I have that feat.
No, because you have -1 to strength, don't you? Unarmed strikes normally are done.
Oh
with
yeah, I
strength.
do. Yeah.
So you got a nat 20, right?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Sorry, that was what hit. Yeah.
So that's 2 points of damage.
Yeah.
2 solid points of damage to the throat.
Hey, that's more than I usually do. Okay.
You hit him square in the throat, and he kind of.
Yeah, this little boy learned to fight a long time ago. You don't want to piss me off.
And he just smiles, just a big cracking grin through his cracked and broken beak, and he kind of puts up feathers, and with force he snaps his finger, and Nightmare's sword from behind blindsides you and just slashes through your person. With a 24.
Yeah, that's gonna hit.
And you don't feel this like normal pain. You feel this like it just cut through a piece of your soul, as all but one of your spell slots disappear.
I'm sorry, what?
And
Wait.
temporarily,
What?
temporarily, she voided.
What level spell slot do I have left? Because I've got multiple
You have
levels.
one level 1 left.
Okay, that's.
I rolled. Perfect,
I don't like that.
I rolled perfect damage. You lost no health.
Yeah, no shit. but I lost no health. Okay, that's
you lost
that's
no
cool.
health. Yeah. Except
Right.
for the fact that
Every single spell slot I have right now.
except for one level 1. Oh damn,
Yeah.
he didn't hit you at all. So Silvico then just kind of smiles as you kind of like withdraw from what happened. He punches you, not realizing that you're kind of like wearing plate, and smacks you right like in the sternum. And he kind of like shakes his claw talon hand, and he's like, well, you might be a little bit more armored than I thought for an unarmored strike, but you still felt my wrath regardless, didn't you? And he kind of like now
No,
caresses
because
your
that's
cheek.
not your wrath. That's not yours at all. If anything, that was the Nightmare Lady's. That's not yours. If you're gonna hurt me, go for it. But don't claim somebody else's shit, Silverco. I thought you knew better than that. Or is every lord and lady just as power hungry as I've read? Yeah, I'm bad mouthing this guy. I don't care.
I'm loving every second of this.
So he's one step away from probably engaging in an actual fight with you. But he kind of smiles as he goes in, his hands daintily caressing your armor and grabbing your back, and he kisses your cheek before he bubbles over and explodes in just this vat of pure plasmoid acid.
What?
What?
Make a dex save.
I'm
Like
so
a dex
confused.
save. Okay.
The actual
Let's
heck.
see.
Ew.
Come on.
I'm feeling
Ooh,
under my
19.
skin.
Okay. So
I'm an actual symbol.
you take half as much damage as this
Yep.
acid explosion explodes out from Silvico's person.
Wait, does it... What was that?
Sorry,
Gotta fidget. I can't. There's too much nervous energy right now. I gotta fidget.
Why do you think I'm cross stitching?
Valid.
How's that coming along?
That's so
That's
cute.
really so cool. I love it.
Yeah.
A
Ah.
break from the trauma to appreciate cross stitching.
Your skin burns and in parts almost melts off. Your wings actually form holes where the insect flesh is actually thicker. So you take 46 damage.
That was half! What the...
Of just acid. Just straight acid damage.
Sorry, that was half.
Yes.
If I failed, I'd be dead right now. What the...
That's more than the health points I currently have because the Nightmare Lady took mine.
Yeah.
But this is the thing. This is the biggest thing about it. Is if you think about it, if you do have to fight him, he just gave away a trump card.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Oh, like that would have been like a legendary action or something.
That may be a once
I'm
a day
understanding
action
you.
or a
I'm understanding
conditional
you.
action.
Oh, and so if he did that now, he doesn't have the opportunity. Am I understanding right?
He might still have the opportunity to do it. You just know what it is.
What it is. We know what to look out for.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So, you are
Oh.
burning and just in excruciating amounts of pain. And
Yeah.
luckily, this acid didn't go out very far, only about melee range, and Cedar was spared from the explosion of acid as she lays there asleep. But as you kind of come to after that shot, he doesn't seem to be present.
You fucking coward. I'll get him next time. Right, Cedar. And he's going to rush over to Cedar and try and So not try and wake her up as such, but make sure she's okay.
So as you come across Cedar, you actually see her laying on top of a woman that you've not seen before. She begins to stir awake, but the woman remains sleeping.
Wait, so Cedar's is awake now?
Cedar is stirring awake, yeah. So you are
Nice.
waking up.
She kind of sits up. Ugh.
You okay?
Why? What? Oh gosh. Yeah. I'm okay. Are you okay?
I mean, I'm still alive. That's got to count for something, right?
Yeah, yeah. She sees one of the holes. Where is he?
I don't know. Coward ran off before I could break his legs.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. He can
Goodness.
explode into acid.
She kind of like looks at the person that she's right now on top of. Mom?
Wait, that's your mother?
That's my mother.
I thought she was
Freaking-
dead.
I thought she was dead too, and I thought that I don't like that nightmare lady. I don't like her. Basically got to see several images of my family members being tortured. In the last room, I guess I got my mom back. I guess she's alive. Wake up. See, you're just kind of take the sword and just kind of wake up.
Like a child. Like, wake up!
Mother,
I
I
don't wake up!
Mom, I threw up.
Your mother remains
Wakey.
unmoving, undisturbed. Her skin is actually smooth and almost has that powdered texture like porcelain does, although her colors look normal.
I have no idea what. Gail, do you have any ideas on how to wake her up?
I mean, not really. You've tried yelling, that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's really all I've got.
I'll be honest, I'm not exactly the leading authority on how to wake up mothers.
I'll wake her up. Bring her over to me. I'll find a way.
Let's get her. Let's get her somewhere else. We'll regroup and then we'll figure out what to do.
Yeah, we definitely need to regroup. I may have gotten hit by the Nightmare Lady with a sword. She didn't hurt me.
You actually see Gale, and like his skin is just like melted off in places, and he has holes in his wings, and he just looks bad.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was the psychopath.
Mm-hmm.
He can explode.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to kill him. I'm going to kill him. He's crossed a line. So many lines.
I mean, I know that he's hurt me. I know he's hurt you. But I hate to say this, but I don't think killing him is going to do anybody any good.
But if he stays alive, he'll just continue to hurt people. We need to get my mother to safety. We can talk about this later. I just need to. We need a plan. And I need to make sure.
Rest.
And you need to rest. Holy cow.
Yeah, I can only cast like one spell, and then that's it.
Okay, but you're not gonna like keel over dead if you stub your toe or something, right? Like.
No.
Okay,
no,
you're not like that. Okay. Just needed to double check.
I mean, I'm hurt, but I
he
should
trips
be okay.
and stubs his toe. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, that tracks.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have had us go after him. At least not without Dana and Kiddis there. This is my fault.
Hey, no, it's not. I followed you. Remember? That's on me.
Okay. Can you help me carry my mother?
Yeah. Should I take the arms? You take the legs?
Yeah. And they kind of start carrying the mother back to, I guess, the part of the castle where the Nyctea would be staying.
Okay. I'm trying to find the map for that. Until I do, go ahead and we'll just assume that you guys make it back to the dormish area.
Mm-hmm. Do I see any of my other relatives?
Let's see. since you're technically the day early, this is still day of, a day early. Not offhand, really, outside of your brother, ACO.
Mm-hmm.
And he's kind of talking to some of his shipmates that are in there, that are just kind of in the dorms with him. So he doesn't really pay too much mind when you come in.
Okay. So we find a bed to put Cedar's mother on, and we put her there, and then Cedar just kind of pulls the blankets up over her, and just walks into a different area, and then walks to an area that's got kind of a good distance, and then she sits on the bed herself.
Just looking for a nice dorms map for you. But yeah, I think Kittis and Dana would be in the area, right? Unless you guys were off doing other things.
Last I heard, we were going towards the boat.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys are headed towards the boat, to kind of check out the crash site, basically.
Mm.
Okay. What are you guys doing?
I'm just playing with my pets as we walk along. I'm basically playing tag with Agatha and Chrome.
Oh yeah,
mean,
the doll was kind of teleporting, following you, right? Basically.
Yeah.
Like every time she went out of your vision, she just appears in front of you.
Mm-hmm. Basically.
So I've just got a puppy in her arms, just.
Yeah. I'm basically playing tag with them, like with her and Chrome, and Atlas. So, but I'm following along with Dana.
You see Philo kind of starting a new game, and that little whirling ball that follows you around and whirs every once in a while. Chrome. You see Philo when Chrome is about to spin, he grabs and then has Chrome spin and yeet him basically, like 5 or 10 feet before he rolls and gets back up and then does it again.
Oh,
That's
this is fun.
So you guys kind of approach the boat, and some of the ruffians will attempt to kind of stop you, and none shall pass.
Why?
This is not your place to be. I don't believe you're part of this crew.
Well, we met your captain just a minute ago. We're besties now.
You met the captain and you're besties now?
Mm-hmm.
What's the captain's name?
Something Natea.
Oh my gosh.
We have a crewman with the last name of Nictea, yes. The captain, however, is not named Nictea. So, would you like to try again, or should you just leave?
Oh my god.
This is the part where you talk in a conversation, and he kind of just looks at Dana. It's like, what's wrong with your friend?
I've been asking myself that for months.
Yeah, you probably need a few more years on it, don't you?
I do. Thank God I'm an elf.
So, thank God indeed. So what seems to be your business here? What can we help you with?
Well, two things. One, I was actually looking to help repair your ship. And two, I was hoping I could steal a steam pack.
You need the whole pack?
Uh-huh. No charges, just the pack.
Just the pack. Well, seeing as how I'm a pirate, I'm all for under the table deals. As for repairing the ship, don't bother, because there is no river we could float this ship once repaired, as it is sticking out of the side of the tallest mountain on this continent. So, it is here now, and likely here to stay. However, how much do you want to leave under the table, and he kind of holds his hand out for a pack like that.
I'd give you 10.
10? Oh man, I think the captain would probably have my head for 10. I need a little bit, enough to make his cut worth it,
Alright, 20.
Oh, okay. It's 20. Okay. Shit, I would take a 15. All right, cool. And he kind of looks at the ground, and he casts oh my gosh, minor illusion, and a table appears.
Oh gosh.
And he looks at you like waiting for you to do something, like, and he keeps like nodding his head
I'll
awkwardly.
just put the gold underneath the minor illusion table.
and he's just like, and he stretches, and then like out from back of his cloak, a steam pack falls down between his legs. And says, "Oh, how did that get there?" And he kind of like kicks it underneath the table as he's like, "Oh, I dropped it." And then he like awkwardly then picks up the gold instead of the steam pack, and then he just starts whistling.
Sort of
I'll
pirate
pick up
version
the
of
steam
Drax
pack and walk away.
Like, good doing table dealing and gambling with you, my fair maiden.
The subtlety of a brick wall.
Ah, yes, a pirate.
That's got to be the best darn pirate I've ever seen.
But you have seen me. Anyway.
Why is all the rum gone?
I do wonder if we'd be able to have Aquafina just make an entire river back to the ocean for this boat.
There are so many ecological implications of that. Sophie talking, not Cedar. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Please do it. Please feel.
What? Sophie talk or make a river?
Yeah, just do it. Do it. Follow your heart. Kiddos, follow your heart.
No, Gillis.
Yeah.
No, no.
The fact that what?
The fact that you're shaking your head so mad at me, just like no, don't you dare
do it. Don't you do it.
An entire continent will be like destroyed.
There will, well, maybe not the entire continent, but definitely some cities, lots
A
of
lot of the
ecosystems.
continent.
And also, it could cause an avalanche.
New river.
At least.
Yes, but new river.
Yeah, new river. Yeah.
We've got a lot of rivers. We're good.
But now you have one where you could easily transport things from the capital to wherever.
This isn't the capital. This is literally just where the voting happens.
I think Cedar
It's
is
like
saying
the
just
middle of
stick to the
nowhere.
rivers and lakes that you're used to.
It's literally, this is the only reason people go up on this mountain is when we need to like have a different monarch. Other than that, it's not used.
You can use them then. If it's used to vote, like whenever there's a new monarch, you can literally make this into a tourist trap. I'm just saying.
It's a safe fight. We're not making it into a tourist
You think that? Okay, then what are the temples that people use as tourist traps for then?
Hey DM, do you want your law being made into a tourist trap?
Why not? It's I mean, if that's what the ruling house wants to do with their continent, just pitch it and see what happens.
I don't see the problems with this. I think this is a great plan. Economy boosted.
I'm not here to say no. I'm here to make what you want happen. That's my job.
Oh no.
Unfortunately, I'm not the real
story.
If I'm your adopted daughter.
Oh god.
Gosh dang it.
Finish this thought, I dare you.
So what's happening now? Go on.
If you're going to be the ruling family, and I'm your adopted daughter with this whole new family name, technically,
I can't argue that one.
Cedar wants to adopt. I mean, you guys are about to enter, legal proceedings tomorrow. So, if you would like to legally adopt Kittis, now is your time.
Side quest. You think I'm joking? Does this make the face of a woman who's joking?
I don't think you're joking.
You never joke, Sophie.
I do warn you about the implications of actually legally adopting Kittis.
Consider the implications.
Anyway, we're back. We're gonna be heading back, I'm assuming, to wherever we're sleeping.
Right. Yeah, we should get back to the story.
When I find a dorms map that isn't like 1 by 1,
Super modern
so yeah,
college.
you're in dorms right now. I'll come up. I don't have dorms maps. I just realized that out of like 7,000 maps I have, I don't have any good dorms. So, anyways, yes, you're in dorms in Nictea area.
It's a white blank sheet of paper.
Yes.
Wow, this is a dorm.
Use your imagination.
Very minimalistic.
Imagination.
Yes, I'd like to go to class now, please.
You're going low budget.
Oh my word. Hello.
I'm just
there's
imagining a
dorms.
jar of dirt, but with a sheet of paper.
All right. So,
How does a sheet of paper help us?
You don't want it, then give it back. No.
so a blood hunter and a warlock walk into a dormitory. They see a woman in stasis, an owl, and a mothman. Continue the joke.
I love
A
how
hurt
just
Mothman.
ignored literally Air Genasi. We're just like, no, Mothman. He's Mothman.
Oh, yeah.
Mothman now.
Yeah.
Homebrew race. Someone get in the chat and make a homebrew Mothman.
Oh, dibs.
Anyway,
Dana
We're
will have a
now
call
back.
after this.
Okay.
Oh no! Oh no!
I'm kidding.
I know what's happening in Gale's arc.
I'm too tired of this.
Yeah.
So the dormitory is actually pretty nice. It's very ornate and well decorated. This one is a little bit more minimalist compared to what you saw already in the Silvico ward, basically. Whereas that one was a lot more marble and stone. This one's a lot more just kind of wooden and clean. Everything's kind of hardwood. It seems magically protected from like damage and stuff like that, much like the rest of the castle. But the couches are comfy. There's a small little meeting hall in the center next to a nice fire. There's a small kitchen, and then the rest just seems to be private bedrooms with 2 beds each shared. There's footlockers that seem to be magically locked and attuned to you. If you need to put anything away in the footlocker, it seems like anyone else aside from you trying to enter it would probably be injured in some degree. So you know of them as a child. You used to kind of prank your brothers and sisters into trying to open up your footlocker after you put something in it, for them to be like zapped and hurt. And so you kind of know of them, and that your stuff would be safe there if you needed it to be.
Cedar's just kind of sitting on the bed trying to process that whole dream sequence bit.
So you have your unconscious mother on the bed next to you, and
No, Cedar went to a different bed.
okay.
Like, somewhere else in the room. She's not happy. She's just like she can see her mother in case something goes wrong, but she's like not right next to her mother right now.
Okay.
So Kittis kind of just busts in. Cedar, we're back.
Hey, Kittis. What's up? How you doing?
So we tried getting on the boat. Didn't work.
Okay.
Father does not have nearly as much influence as I thought.
Did you just assume that he was a captain?
Maybe.
Oh.
He's your brother.
Wait, how does he's your brother instantly mean he's a captain? I want to explore that.
Obviously, you're about to become queen. Therefore, your siblings must be awesome too. So, there.
ACO, yes. ACO's awesome.
Your younger sister is pretty awesome. In terms of fighting, she just kind of sucks at logic.
Well, yeah. Oh, by the way, Dana, Kittis, meet. And she gestures towards the owl in stasis. My mother. She's alive. I thought she died too. Apparently, she was in the nightmare realm or in the nightmare stone, or I don't even know what's going on anymore.
Wait! And so Kittis kind of like walks over to her, and I'm going to just start examining the bodies to see if it's actually alive.
Do you want to roll an arcane?
Now's the
or
perfect
medicine?
time to test my autopsy kits.
Oh gosh.
What? Am I rolling what?
Arcane or medicine, depending on what you want to get out of it.
Probably arcane because I'm like, she's more into the magic than actually fixing people.
That
So,
tracks.
It's like the anti-Gale.
19.
Man, you guys are just rolling really good today. You.
It's not rolling good. I just have a really good arcane.
That's fair. You recognize this right away as less of a physical form. The physical form that you see is actually a manifestation of the soul's memory. So this does not seem to be so much human flesh as a recreation housing the soul and consciousness of Cedar's mother.
So Cedar's mom is basically just a soul in a evocation spell.
You don't recognize the school of magic. Actually, yes, you do, because you just called it out. So yeah, you recognize it because you rolled for it before and you recognize it. It is evocation.
That's
No.
right.
Heck yeah.
So Kitty's just like, ooh. So she kind of like just keeps picking up her arm and dropping it and doing like stuff like that now at this point. Because she's like trying to figure out how stable the spell is.
Through your experimentation, you see that she has about the same range of motion as a ball-jointed doll. So she doesn't have a very organic movement.
Creepy.
I don't like that.
So creepy.
Not another doll in the party.
Oh, gosh.
Your mom is. This is not your mom's body.
What?
It's a spell. It's an evocation spell. So I never thought to try to put a soul into an evocation spell. That is not something I considered before.
Kiddos, in English, please.
It's a body.
Kiddos, in common, please. For those of us who don't know what evocation is.
Oh, it's like the towers we've been in that make it so.
Yeah.
It's like, that's an evocation spell. It makes something in mind go into real.
Oh.
Essentially.
Oh.
So what? So what? How is
It's
she
like
in there or?
Yeah, her soul's in here. Her soul's basically equivalent of a doll, inside a doll.
I don't like that.
I wonder if Agatha's one. Agatha.
No, don't bring that thing out.
No.
Bring that thing out right now.
No, that thing gave me nightmares.
I do not. I can't right now.
What has she done to you?
You hear a sneeze
I don't know.
on the other side of a castle. It's just you just see Nightmare. Someone's talking about me.
Kiddos, I feel like that doll is going to murder a puppy and somehow laugh.
And she has not done that yet. So you don't
Yet!
You are being so judgmental right now.
I'm just saying, if a puppy ends up on our doorstep dead, I will turn around and I will say that was Agatha all okay. I warned you.
She could give me a new pet. I need to reassert control over my bird.
And the freaking teleporting doll.
I don't have control over the doll.
Then maybe you should.
She hasn't told
I'm
me.
sorry, I'm really stressed out right now.
Well, now I need to know whether or not you have a soul. Agatha! And I'm just going to...
Just tell me
Touch
if
my
you
holy
figure out
symbol.
how to wake up my mother, because I have no idea on how to do that. I've tried yelling. It doesn't work.
Well, it wouldn't make sense for it to work. She's a doll, soul in a doll.
How do I
Anyway,
wake it up?
I don't know. Let's figure it out. Fine. Agatha, we're going to have to wait on figuring out whether or not you have a soul.
You see Agatha sitting in the corner of the room, suddenly just kind of staring at you. She wasn't
Gale
there.
clutches his holy symbol.
Good girl. You're such a sweet doll.
Gale is clutching his holy symbol and inching towards the door.
Gail, before you leave, come here real quick. We need to put some bandages on top of the acid burns.
Do you have enough bandages? There's a lot of acid burns.
I will do what I can, but frankly, I think this is the kind of thing that'll heal overnight. But we still don't want to risk getting infected. So
yeah,
come over here while me and Kittis work on this,
D&D
and
logic.
I'll patch you up.
Third
D&D
degree acid
logic.
burns. Oh, this will heal overnight. You need exactly 8 hours of sleep to heal this.
8 hours of sleep and you'll be fine.
And you think Gail has worse sleep than I do?
In any case, though, what do I need to do to figure out how to wake this lady up?
Cedar will be multitasking, helping Kittis figure this out, and she's also bandaging up Gale, like trying to make sure that the acid burns are covered by bandages.
Insight first, then Arcana for Kittis.
Insight and then Arcana.
And can I assist on both of those so that she gets advantage?
You just said you just declared you were bandaging up Gale.
She says she's multitasking.
Multitasking.
She's not a guy. She can do this.
Okay.
All right, I get advantage.
Mm-hmm.
So insight. Okay, that's good. That is dirty 20. And
Nice.
then Arcana. And with advantage. Okay, that's 15 Arcana.
Not bad.
So with your insight check, you kind of go, okay, well, obviously her body doesn't exist anymore because it dissolved on the island from exhaustion, just like her dad's, because, we were on the isle, and obviously she died, and you're kind of logicking through it. You're like, well, you don't have a body, and so literally her soul is trapped in a nightmare because it was in a realm that existed, and then you're like, oh, I wonder if another realm could exist, and then you go, oh, she needs another container.
So she needs... So she needs a new body.
No, Kittis. We're not going grave robbing.
I have bodies in there already. It's just a
Okay,
matter
what?
of... I just oh, I fucking Frankenstein.
Bodies plural. Bodies
How-
plural.
You mean more than just the Shalius corpse?
Yeah, but the problem is I don't think she wants a rot body.
Again, I hate to stress concern. Bodies plural.
Yeah. Let's see. Because the thing is I have Shalius's body, but I don't really want to put her inside of...
You're not using his body.
No.
No, but I don't
I
really
never
want
want to see that
Give
face again.
to put her inside Givus or Crescent.
I would rather spend an entire evening with Agatha than see her mum's body. No. No. I would jump out of a window.
You walked into that. You walked right into that one, Gale.
I did. I would jump out of a window and not flap my wings.
No.
Let's see. What if I put her in... Like, I don't know if her soul could handle, like, being inside a small bird. The problem is if I try to reanimate...
I would think of the egg, but the curator's already in that.
Yeah, that's true.
No.
It's just vibing down there.
I need you to have a new body. Problem is...
Hold on.
In the meantime, I could put her in the Dreamstone. Couldn't I?
Wait, didn't the Dreamstone break?
Yes, but it's empty now. Wait, Philo... I still have Philo's stone, where Philo lived.
Oh.
Would Philo mind?
Philo doesn't live there anymore.
Yeah, but would he mind? He might decide to move back in.
Why would he move back in?
I don't know. I don't know what fey creatures do. No offense, Philo.
I have an idea that could be a very bad idea, but it could also work. I don't know how comfortable I feel about this, but maybe we do a little switch.
Huh.
Sorry, what?
Do you want me to try to purge Argos from your head?
I'm gonna ask him. Hey, Argos.
Oh my word. This is gonna be
First
such
time
a
we
bad
talked.
idea.
Couple days.
This is even I know this is a bad idea.
I'm gonna ask.
I have no healing.
Argos, buddy.
He hears it.
Hello.
Mhm.
Okay.
You feel
Do
the
you-
connection because it twinges a little bit, but he's not saying anything.
So you obviously remember my mother. She's right there. You can see her because you're an eyeball. Do you like being an eye, or would you rather move on? Are you doing that thing where now you don't share your opinions?
The twinge in your eye goes away.
See?
Jerk. You are a jerk. He's not answering.
Oh, is it like New Parchment? Who this?
No, I can tell he's hearing me. It's like he's left on red.
I don't get that.
Yeah. He's not responding. I may have yelled at him the other day, frankly, but that was when I did tell you guys that I woke up in somebody else's house, right? I filled y'all in on that after it happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well,
it still disturbs me.
Yeah, it still disturbs me too. I'm trying not to think about it. He was part of that, and I kind of flipped out on him, and then he called me pathetic, and we have not really spoken since.
Ugh, I hate it when we get called
Can I?
pathetic.
So I really can't go grave robbing?
I mean, I'd prefer you not to.
Our DM is.
Oh God!
That's twice in the same session.
Cedar, I mean, I don't want to railroad this, but I'm going to a little bit. Cedar, roll an
I
Arcana
have no
for
idea
me.
what to do, so please do.
It's okay.
But she needs a new containment. Am I just completely off base? This is what's going on?
No,
I'm
not
very
exactly.
confused as well.
So you guys were spot on, but you guys never actually examined what the curator is.
Oh. Yeah.
Oh, she
Oh,
was
what's the
also
point?
a doll. She was
Oh,
also
she
a doll
was,
before
wasn't
she
she?
went in the egg. But did we keep the doll with us?
No, right?
No, you didn't.
It's in the library.
Well, why don't
Oh,
you
God.
pull out the egg?
So she needed a place to be to enter a different realm of existence. But you don't know what she is.
All right, I pull out the egg.
So roll an Arcana for me. Because if she could have inhabited the soul, if she was a soul, go roll an Arcana.
That's an 11.
Okay. So you don't know what she is, but what you do get is that she is inhabiting the egg.
So why don't
Okay.
we just put so we could put her mom in the egg?
Oh my
Roll an
God.
insight check.
I hate
What?
this. I hate this.
Wait, which one of us?
Wait,
you-
who's rolling the insight check? Me?
You, and if Kiddis wants to assist.
Yep. I'll definitely assist on that.
What?
Well, I got the same thing each time, so it doesn't really matter. It's a 9.
So what you do get from that is if Ronnie was enough to wake up the egg, wouldn't she have already?
Oh. Okay. So the egg can fit more than one.
Ooh.
It's like a recombinant soul kind of thing, making an entirely new soul, probably. In my Cedar starts mumbling this as she's thinking, that could work.
Wait, it could.
And she kind of takes the egg. I don't know how to, and then she just starts tapping the egg on the head of her mother, just like, I don't know how to do soul transfers. Kiddis, is that within your thing? Is that within your realm of knowledge? How do I get the soul out of this into the egg? Because I think both souls can fit in here, and that will essentially make a new soul entirely.
I have been trying to figure out on how to split souls. I never thought to stitch them.
Wow, that was creepy the way you said that, but it works,
Yeah.
so let's try it out. Wow. We will address that later.
Yeah.
Thank you, W.
Distressed Gale noises.
Yeah. So,
So, Doku, if
Mhm.
I were to try to transfer the soul,
How would you
I
go
don't
about
actually
doing
know
it?
the rules. Huh?
I said, how would you go about doing it?
Well, I would likely modify my commune with Dead's Ed to basically summon the soul, to summon the soul out, but use like the egg as a base rather than like her body.
Like
And
a
so
lightning rod.
yeah, like a lightning rod to send it in. Do basically a modified version of it.
Okay. Well, no one in this state is dead.
So I can't do commune with Dead even though it summons back souls.
Right.
But the problem is my splitting soul spell has only just started. We just worked on that. So I don't know if it would be ready to try to modify it even. So then how do
Hmm. Can I roll Arcana again?
I
Just to kind of.
To figure out how to do this. Is that your wife in the background?
It is.
Hi!
She usually does this to get my attention. They say hi. But
hello.
it's not near the time of ending the game. I'm still have a lot of time left, so I don't know why she's being.
I still have time, please.
She's just like staring at me from behind the wall, just kind of smiling awkwardly. Anyways, go ahead and roll another Arcana, sure.
Both of us are
No, you guys are both kind of looking at it.
okay.
23.
23.
Okay.
Twinsies!
So it's interesting because you said it earlier, right? You're like, oh, weird. So this is evocation, right? And this is a school of magic that I know of and kind of understand of, but I don't really know how to use it. So you're kind of looking at it and you're like, what could I do to provoke, or what can I call, or who can? And you're just kind of going through the steps of, you're like, all right, well, who could do this? And that's kind of the conclusion that you come to. It's like, what are my options? You're like, I
So
don't
wait.
understand.
My options in terms of I have to use someone else to do this?
That's kind of the conclusion you draw, right? You're like, well, I don't have any understanding of evocation, but I understand that evocation could probably handle this because it's memories and the remembering being in a body and a soul, and you just kind of go through the steps. And then you're like, the Fey Queen's towers were created with evocation magic, so this is obviously Fey magic.
So
Okay.
one of us would have to ask our Fey Queen.
All right. I'll have Cedar ask Yellow then.
What's your prayer look like?
Okay, Cedar kind of walks a few steps away and is like, hey, I know I usually don't ask for a lot. I guess I get nervous asking the Fae for things. Whereas, I guess Kiddis does it a lot more often, but it seemed to work out for her, so I'm starting to think maybe I can trust you a little bit. Maybe? Um, here's the thing. I am at my wit's end at this point. I'm trying to get to that future that's going to help all of us. And I'm not sure what to do next. I could really use your help, Yellow.
Roll a performance.
8. That figures.
You do hear a voice kind of answer, and it sounds kind of like a smaller pixie. It's another big booming voice that you would want, but moreover, just someone that you're familiar with, the fairy that kind of gave you your power to begin with.
Mhm.
And she kind of laughs and she's like, making fate happen is White's domain. We're more of a trick or treat, aren't we? So trick or treat?
Pick trick. Let's have some fun.
So as you do, the the words trick are muttered from your mouth, and the egg cracks, and the porcelain body of your mother cracks, and they form a sort of like pseudo connection for a moment as their energies kind of seemingly get sucked into a center vortex. And as it does, the dragon, the pseudo dragon inside the egg, begins to swirl, and the egg begins to crack. And the porcelain body of your mother begins to change shape as it cracks and bends and molds. And the curator and your mother's body turns into a book. And on the cover of the book is that four-armed doll with the blue hair that you saw beforehand, that you know Ronnie as. And your mother's soul now seems to inhabit the dragon that then kicks out the top of the eggshell and then pops its little head out and makes a little bit of a swooning sound.
So they say it.
Huh. Well, hello there.
However, the curator's book, upon looking at it, seems to be blank. So whereas there was the knowledge of everything that was, you'd be like, oh, I could probably read this book and find the answers. It seems to be blank. And you say hello to the dragon as it begins to hatch from the egg, and it seemingly understands you. But you can't necessarily feel it like you would a familiar. It doesn't speak words to you, and you can't feel its feelings. But you know that your mother's soul is inside.
Hmm.
And did we ever make a character card for your pseudo dragon? I know we decided on some artwork, right?
I think we did decide on some artwork, but I don't think we've ever made a character card for it.
Okay. Let me go ahead and get pseudo dragon for you, and I will let you know what your pet looks like. Or, well, you tell us what your pet looks like, and I will get the pseudo dragon for you.
All right. So, I didn't think it would happen this soon. This is exciting. It's like about the size of a small cat. Little tiny dragon with a little stinger at the end of its tail. And I think it would probably be kind of a goldish color, like a very pale gold. And it has very big black eyes.
That's cute.
So that is what my little pseudo dragon looks like.
Please note that Kidis has taken extensive notes on what happened.
Already, I love it. I love it.
I've never seen this before.
I'm like, this is new. I'm taking the most detailed of notes on that.
Whoa.
And then Cedar kind of scoops it out of like the little last bits of the egg and like starts cleaning like eggshell off of it. Hello, little one. I have no idea if you're like my mother or not. This is weird. This is very weird for me, but still pretty cute. So she kind of puts the pseudo dragon up on her shoulder. You can sit there, I guess.
Do we know
It
what it
nuzzles
eats?
the crap out of you.
Hello.
So I sent you
You
the
guys
card.
look. Thank you.
It has everything except for the limited telepathy. So everything
Gotcha.
at this point, the communication doesn't seem to be there. So it understands you completely. It'll do what you say, what you want it to do.
That's the pseudo dragon right there.
Is
Love
happy
that.
for you as well. It'll attack. It'll do anything you want to do. It'll spy on stuff, but there is no communication back.
It's the cat at this exact moment. Love it.
I think my lady went to get a shower, and so the cat wants to be in the bathroom with her, but the door is closed, so she's singing the song of her people at the door. So things will change as time goes on, of course, but that is what it's at right now.
All right.
Oh.
Well, I'm obviously not going to call you mom because that's a weird. That's a little weird at this point. Can I give you a name, or do you have one you'd like?
It
Cedar's
blinks.
very confused.
It just blinks at you.
Okay. Let's call you Curie. Let's call you Curie for now.
It'll shrug and just kind of nod its head.
You like that? Okay,
So-
cool.
The curator's in the doll.
No, the curator's a book now.
The curator went
Curator.
into the doll, and the doll became a book.
Ooh, can I play with?
Well, considering everyone's probably staring at the pseudo dragon,
Yep.
I would assume you would probably go mostly unnoticed unless Dana also is interested in the book or the
Oh,
pseudo dragon.
Dana's been off this entire time doing her own stuff.
I'm
Okay.
going to sit and analyze and figure out the book. Because I didn't get to see the curator. I didn't get the library scene.
Oh yeah, you weren't in the library scene.
No.
So, this is a magic item as you sit and examine it. And attuning to this item will allow you to ask it one question about the history of the world once a day. However, because things are jumbled right now, you don't know 100% if the history that is being told to you is the history of the world that you are in, or in one of the alternate timelines that have now come and gone.
Ooh.
So the timelines
Cool.
are almost always similar with subtle changes. So it'll give you the truth as it knows it, but you don't know if it's the truth of the world that you're in. But you are allowed to ask one question a day about anything that has happened in history.
It's probably Cedar's item.
Yeah.
Cedar's off with her
Yeah,
dragon.
No, you can't take this.
I
No.
want to keep it so badly.
You're not gonna.
There's
Cerise, I will.
so much.
Cerise, I know where you live. I know where you
I
live,
know
Cerise.
you know where I live, but I also could beat you in a fight.
Yeah, Trace, you just gotta put your hand out and that's it. You know,
I
just
know.
let everyone into your
That's all I
hand.
want you to do.
You can hush.
So they're
You can hush.
they have a whole bunch of stuff going on. What's Dana doing officially?
And so Dana has sat down at a desk in the room and is starting to has started to take apart the steam pack to figure out how to reverse engineer it to not only expel a strong gust of air and steam, but also like intake it.
All right. Let's roll a thingy thing then.
That's very descriptive.
I'm deciding. Because they don't have like a crafting stat, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're like, here's artificers, but no mechanics behind them.
Mm-hmm.
So
Good luck.
Yeah. Because obviously this would be some form of like wisdom, but your profession has always been crafting. So let's do. I mean, for lack of a better something, you're taking something apart. Let's do an insight, but you're proficient with the tools you're doing it with. I'm assuming. So what is that, like a +2 or something?
+5.
So yeah, it would be a +5 for you. That's right.
Yeah.
Because it's ability. Yeah. Because it's okay. So yeah, go ahead and roll insight with your +5.
23.
All right. Go ahead and remember that for future rolls. But I also wrote it down. So for mechanically speaking, if you're using tools to take something apart, let's just call it insight for now. Okay.
Okay.
And we can revisit it later if we need to. But that being said, 23 will get you that you can see that each steam pack actually is made with a magic type of material to hold an insane amount of pressure magically. So it's like a metal chamber. And you can see that it has 2 main inputs and 1 main output. But there is no real flow control because it seems like at the core of each steam pack is more of like a magic shell, and this shell kind of controls the flow. I'm concerned at why Gale is smiling so much.
He's teasing my height
Sorry.
again.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm bullying Sophie.
Gotcha. So you
DM, he's bullying me.
Teacher!
I condone this action. I don't know. I'm dealing with Dana. So
You
guys,
condone this action? Okay, I'll keep doing it.
I'll sort you out later. But
You see me after session, young man.
Right? You see that there is a magic core that seems to intake the magic fluid or fire, and then expand into a steam, and then kind of open a pathway out on a trigger pool. So it's kind of half mechanical, but it's also made out of like a magical core. It's just basically enchanted steel, if you will. As you kind of pick apart it, you ding it. You're like, this is just steel, and it's like, the same thing a sword would be made out of, but it's enchanted essentially. So you definitely spend a few hours because you kind of got the pack from the boat, and they're doing their thing with the dragon and the book and everything else, and you're just sitting there taking this thing apart. So you get it all the way apart. And what answer are you looking for? So how to get it to take in something?
Yeah, I'm looking to basically, so how the steam pack worked when you would press a button or something, it would expel all the steam into something.
Yeah, basically what it would do is it would the combustion would happen in this magical chamber, and then when you push the button, it basically just opens like a valve, and expels the steam. And then the receptacle would do whatever action it needed to do.
So I'm effectively looking to add another function to it to not only expel but intake. So you hit a button and it intakes air, fills the chamber, and then you hit the initial button and it opens the valve, releases all the air into another source.
So as you're kind of taking it apart and experimenting to it, you understand that it would take in, just if there were no charges on it, it would actually take in just air from the surrounding area. But unless it was magically enchanted somehow, it doesn't really take in much aside from normal outside pressure. So it would take in, like, it'd be like blowing on something with your own breath. So there's no strength behind it. But if there were no charges, those entry holes would take in whatever was there.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, so then I'll put it back together, but I will work on enchanting it until my trial. I'll work on enchanting it to effectively release a large burst of air instead of just a short burst of air.
Okay. Trying to think if you have anything in your possession that would kind of allow you to do this. Roll an Arcana for me.
Okay. That's a 14.
Okay. even with a 14 as an idea for experimentation, you kind of get the idea that if there was something magical, you could probably leave one vent open for air, and then magically, if something contained some form of magic or catalyst, if you will, it would suck in a higher amount of pressure and drain the magic from that item.
Okay.
So I can't give you the answer, but that is kind of the thought you had. You're like, hey, if it needs to be magic, all this needs to do is suck in magic and then air, and then it'll have magic air explosion.
Magic rock.
So, right now I'm looking to just make it pure air, no other fuel source needed.
Yeah. So you at this point, yeah, your idea would be like, hey, if there was a catalyst or something magically enchanted that it can use to, like, equivalent exchange, right? So if you want pressure, you would need to have some, like, you would basically put a spell into it, like a wind spell, you know what I mean, or some form of magic to suck in air. The air would then be magic. Does that make sense?
Gotcha. Yeah. So then, so I'll start scribbling. So I'll, like, basically on one side of the table, I'll have notes and just papers sprawled out across half the table, taking notes, drawing diagrams, and I'll be using my forgery proficiency to make this all look like Cedar's work. And then on the right half of the table, I will be experimenting, and I'll pump a spell slot into one slot and just nothing in the other, and I'll see what the intake and out and what the input and output looks like.
Okay. So oh yeah, because you have a level 1 spell slot now because you're a wizard, aren't you? Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, you just want energy. So you put your hand on one of the charge holes, and you leave the other one open. And so the one on the left that usually takes water would suck in a bunch of air, and you willingly give up your spell slot, and it does. It basically sucks the spell slot out of you as a level 1 spell slot, and you kind of can feel the pulsing that you would, because you fired one of these things, right?
No.
No?
Kid is the only one that's fired one.
Got it. So you actually feel that it feels a little bit different if you were to pull the trigger. Like, you get the impression that it took the spell slot, it took you as the catalyst, and you kind of got your outcome that you're looking for.
Okay. And then, so once I've figured that out, I'll take down those notes, draw those diagrams, but then I'll keep experimenting to try and just remove the need for a catalyst altogether.
Okay. So you kind of continue your work throughout the night, and you will do a normal rest, I'm assuming? Like a 4 hour?
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
All right. What's everyone else doing with their time then?
Sophie, can we book stock my boyfriend?
Yes, we can.
Please.
I will
Oh my
use my
God, I
first
forgot
use of
about
this
this.
book to help Kittis feel better. I will use yes.
We are booked.
Are you attuning to the book?
Yeah, Cedar attunes to the book.
This is like the D&D version of Facebook stalking, and I'm here for it.
So
Yes.
what is your question?
I want to know everything about Russell's best.
Where he went to school, who his friends are.
That's like everything.
Is he single?
Maybe like who put him there? Who put him in the mines?
I'm
You
no.
just want to know everything.
I just want to know. I'm literally doing the D&D equivalent of Facebook stalking my boyfriend. So then
Well,
I have all the
basically-
information to prepare. Because like I'm like I may not know who put him in there, but I know I will find out. So that
like
is
a
not a
more
matter of
wholesome
if,
version
it's
of
a matter
you.
of when. And I will find him, and I just want to Facebook stalk my boyfriend.
Okay. Cedar's like, I mean, that's an interesting way to go about that, but
This is like a more
Only
wholesome.
Guys, there's only so much I can learn with 25 words.
true.
What?
Um,
Twitter?
Yeah, I'll do this for you. I'll do this for you,
It's
Kittis.
X now. It's X.
Oh, that's so dumb. Also,
As
this is
a-
like a more this is a more wholesome version of you. Can I just say that
The
right now?
show. Oh, mercy. I read about that show. That thing is creepy.
I've watched it. It is disturbing as hell.
I bet. It
So-
sounds terrible.
So you
So
hear
cool.
you hear Kittis going, "I want the history of Reslin," and then Cedar kind of, I'm assuming, puts that energy in and show me the history of Reslin. Defeated
With that
Cedar.
exact tone of voice.
And then
Filing cabinet.
you see the the book, the pages actually begin to kind of like spin rapidly back and forth as it seems to be
Yeah.
weaving a story, and the book opens, and it says, "To my creator," or yeah, basically, "To my master, the history of Reslin, easily absorbed, as I don't think your brains can comprehend having the knowledge of the universe at your hands, because this is what you chose to do."
It was a favor for a friend. Good grief.
So as you flip the book, it's a pop-up book, and you see a tiny little wood elfin boy jumping through the forest and the trees and then hunting, and you see it's like a zoomed in pop-up of his ear that it kind of like, and it's moving a little bit, so you understand that he has like superb hearing, and then one day he gets captured by like a mobile circus, if you will, like a traveling circus, and he is used to kind of sit in on hidden meetings, and you can tell that he is kind of a circus clown, a circus performer, but on the side, he gets paid a lot of money to gather information that couldn't normally be gathered. So he got very quick and nimble about getting in and out of places and overhearing and oversharing. And then one day he kind of realizes he doesn't want to do that for someone else anymore. He kind of wants to go in for work for himself. So you kind of see this teenage elf working as like this hardcore mercenary, and you see him like killing and murdering and like always getting his mark type of thing. And he does this for like 100 years. And you see just like you keep flipping pages, and it's a mark after a mark after a mark, and you're going through like 100 pages, and each one is a different person. And then you see him, though, his expression changes sadder and sadder and sadder and sadder and sadder, until one day he comes across a town, and he's kind of just defeated, and you can like get the impression that like the smell of blood is on him and stuff like that, and he
What was that?
my wife just chimed in and said he's on his period. Anyways, he gets a job as a barback at this bar, thinking that he can get the information on the town and maybe overthrow the magistrate. And you see him smile for the first time in like 200 pages, because he's actually enjoying what he's doing. And then he'll kind of go through the next few pages where he takes his stockpile of money that he got with his ill-begotten jobs, and purchases the bar for himself from the owner who just retired. And now he does deals on the sides for extra money for the magistrate of the town. So instead of overthrowing the town, he found his place in the world. And he enjoys it, and he's actually happy. And then one page, Kittis you see Kittis dancing on the bar and the table, and like hearts in the air and stuff like that. And then the next page, in the next few pages, you see the story about how he turned down a job from the magistrate of the town, and that pissed off the mining chief, who was basically low-key like in charge of the town. He did what the mining chief did what Reslin came to do, but instead of Reslin doing it, he just decided to own the bar. So the mining chief seems to actually be pulling the strings, as he kidnaps, or has people kidnap Reslin and throw him at the bottom of a mine. And that's where the story ends.
I now have my target.
Is that the guy? That's the guy who gave us the tour, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the guy that gave us the tour, right?
Let's see if you remembered his name.
I don't. I did not remember his name. I didn't care about him. Let's see
Of course
if
not,
I
you were in
roll.
love at the time.
That's right, because you never asked.
Nope.
Nope. He is the mining chief, but you've never asked his name. You've had multiple conversations with him, too.
I know. I did not care, honey. I cared about Reslin. That was it. His name was the only name I wrote down in that town.
So you're
Reslin, who the fuck is this?
But no, do I recognize his face though? Because like, it's a pop-up book.
No, not sorry. I didn't mean to unmute. So my wife is giving me shit right now because she's like, we just talked to a bunny rescue people for over an hour yesterday about a bunny rescue that we're gonna become a part of, and she's like, what's the name of either one of the people that we talked to? And I'm like, fuck, I don't remember. As I'm giving you guys shit for not asking names.
You had a few conversations with these people.
How dare you not remember their names?
It's written in the law.
Oh, her name is Denise. My wife had her business card, and that's how we know.
But in any case, though,
Do we have the mining chief's business card?
No.
Dude,
Gosh.
this is a pop-up book, which means there's a face.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know, supposedly what he looks like.
Suppose.
I don't like that. I don't trust that.
Mm-hmm.
He's a changeling.
I don't trust it. I don't.
No. You know the drawback of the book.
Oh, multiverse.
So was this story true to the world you're in?
Oh gosh.
Oh no.
You have a 1 in 3 chance of being correct.
Couldn't I just ask the spirit mirror? There's been people who've died in the mine. Couldn't I just ask the spirit mirror what he looks like? I don't trust them right now. I'm gonna figure that out later.
Cedar kind of sees this and goes, "Wow." Well, I mean, we know that it's very possible that he likes you back, and Cedar just kind of pokes Kittis in the shoulder, like poke, poke, poke.
Well,
That's exciting.
And now I have a target. But thank you.
We will cross that bridge when we get to it.
Murder is always the way.
Sophie, I'm sorry. You guys keep saying that you're going to cross bridges when we get to them with my character, and then you never get around to fixing any of her issues.
Well, there's going to be at least 15 bridges we have to cross when it's time for.
Yeah,
just
one after the other. Just
like, because we haven't properly addressed her suicide attempt. We haven't addressed her trying to murder whoever put her boyfriend in the mine. We haven't addressed the fact that she split her soul with Philo. We haven't addressed.
To be fair, I think we've tried to address those 1 or 2 times, and Kittis has been like, "It's fine." Just walks away.
Yeah.
I am chaos.
And got it. By the way, hold on. By the way, okay, so whenever you guys go to bed, I'm gonna try to figure out something. Whenever we go to bed, remind me that it has something to do with Philo.
Okay. Well, it is about time, and I'd say the night has gotten quite late.
Yeah.
And you know the agenda tomorrow will be, at least what pertains to you, the main thing would probably be the sentencing of this card woman.
Great, it's lawyer time.
It's lawyer time.
Before she goes to bed, Cedar goes up to Dana and kind of puts her hand on Dana's shoulder. Hey.
Mm-hmm.
You nervous about tomorrow?
Meh.
I have no idea how you're not nervous, but we're gonna get you through this, okay?
I hope so.
Thank you for everything. I just wanted you to know we have your back.
That means a lot.
Good night.
Good night.
And she goes to her bed and goes to sleep.
Thanks for everything. Famous last words. She's like, thanks for everything. Hope we don't get you screwed over tomorrow.
Thanks for everything. One of my clients is guilty. There is no defense.
I'm picturing the Laszlo in court. I said, may I approach the bench? What did you think I said?
Sure. We're so scared.
Oh my.
So who's our best legal counsel?
What?
Who's our best legal counsel?
Kidis has the highest charisma stat.
Gail's just like, I have no idea what I'm doing.
Kidis has the highest intelligence and charisma stat. She just has no wisdom.
Wait, Kidis doesn't have the highest intelligence stat.
Do you have a higher one than me?
Yeah,
Yeah,
she does
I'm
now.
a 20.
Oh, you have 20 now. Never mind. Never mind. My bad. My
20.
You also
But your charisma
technically
stat is
have a +5 too,
Anywho,
if you're addressing
It's
a
court
room.
time. It's court time.
by the
Alright.
way,
So what what
Wait.
else is anyone doing before bed and rest?
I was trying to
Um,
figure out something, but Gail could go first.
you sure?
Yep.
Okay. I guess Gail would have tried to sort of get some space, sort of get away from the group for a moment. Maybe just find a balcony and just sort of sit on there for a moment, just contemplating what happened with Silverco and how he could have easily have gone down. And the entire time he's almost sort of thinking to Aquafina, you know, how do I become powerful enough to stop him, to save Cedar? And he's going to spend a bit of time just thinking
Oh,
and just
crap.
trying to calm himself down.
The cameras went bad on stream.
Wait, what?
There we go.
Should we try turning them off and are they back on?
Yeah, they're good now.
Oh, we're good now. I touched it.
One of the cats tripped over a cable.
I forgot to untouch it, and now it's fine. Thank you for letting me know.
Thanks, Mike. That's my cousin.
Cheers.
Nice. Yes.
But yeah, that's gonna be Gail's.
Are you actually doing a prayer to her, or is this kind of just a self-reflection?
Kind of a bit of both. I think if he's able to do a prayer, he will try and get that sort of communion with her.
So go ahead and, if you want, go ahead and just do your performance.
What's this? 18.
Nice.
I'm using the dragon scaled dice tonight. This seems to be working well.
Heck yeah.
So you do your prayer, and you actually get a feeling of kind of like weakness in your deity, right? You chose the Fae. She encompasses all water, but she connects with you. You can actually feel kind of the bead of sweat on your head as you're just in your armor, and even though it's cold outside, it's almost like a cold sweat form, and in that, just that little bit of water, there's a resonance with you, with your Fae deity, much like how you used to feel with Shanti. And you get a feeling of almost sadness as she feels like she wants to offer you more, but doesn't have the physical strength. But she is going to give you an inspiration dice of a D8 on a roll of your choosing. So keep that in your pocket. That you can use it as a save, as an attack, as a skill, or anything you want. You have a free D8 in your pocket as an inspiration.
Okay. Gail, what does this one say? I'll take that. Thank you. I'll try and do right by you. I'm really glad we met.
And a single tear falls down your face, not formed from you. Alright, what you doing, kiddos?
I'm trying to figure out. Okay. So we split
my soul.
Gail's gone propose.
My soul's in Philo. Half of my soul's in me. Or half of Philo's soul's in me now. Here's the thing. Philo's a familiar. Does this make me connected to White now? That's what she's going to be spending her time trying to figure out before she goes to sleep. Or does her
I
trance.
like the idea that it's the entire 4 hours that she's not sleeping. She's thinking about this just for 4 straight hours.
Well, it's not necessarily just thinking. It's kind of sitting here trying to discuss it with Philo. And then
I love that. Just sitting on the bed, just very serious discussion. You have this little fluff ball, like.
Do it.
So you're kind of talking with roll an Arcana then.
29.
Oh my god, I keep forgetting. So Philo kind of smiles and then taps your forehead for a moment. And unless you resist, you're going to fall into a small dream state. You're not going to fall asleep. But
yeah, because I'm immune to magical sleep.
Yeah, but you'll be in like a conscious sleep, kind of like a dream dimension, but without actually having to connect to it.
Okay. Yeah, I don't resist.
And you see Philo there, just kind of floating and smiling. And he holds out his hand, and from his back, you can see patchwork stitches from where his soul is actually being held into his body. As that skull miasma thing that you saw from the bear, you see something similar. But he will actually form a thread black rose, much like the ones you've already received. So threads will be coming from his patchwork to form the flower as he hands it to you.
Okay, I take it.
And you wake up from the dream state holding one of the thread-created black flowers. And you understand that when you traded essences with Philo, Philo is no longer belongs to White.
Oh.
He now controls space, much like you do.
So you're no longer time related. You're now space related. Fun. That makes sense on how he was able to transform the way he does. Interesting.
I'm glad you caught that, because yes, he was a physical transformation this time around, not a dream-created monster.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
This is interesting.
Hold on, I have to sort this cat out. Give me 1 second. What are you doing?
Curran, calm down.
This is interesting. I have thoroughly enjoyed exploring
This is
all the mistakes that I've made. And because this is now interesting. So the question is now Philo like my Fey Queen's familiar, or is Philo now kind of just connected with me and just in general?
Hi, kitty.
Oh, kitty.
So cute.
Oh.
Also, that whole entire scene with Silvico and Gale, I felt the discomfort like right under my skin, and I
I hate him so much more.
Hate it.
Anyway,
Stop touching my blue boy.
Keep your claws to yourself.
Keep your creepy claws off my fucking blue boy.
Oh my word. I'm gonna hold Philo and go into my train. We will be figuring out Agatha later, because I'm very fascinated if Agatha has a soul.
I hope not.
Oh no. I don't think he was gonna do anything with that until now, and that laugh signifies that now he's got ideas.
I had something for it already.
Yes.
It's fine.
It's gonna be so much fun, guys. No,
I may not have. 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 I may not a lot of layers for things, but everything it has at least one layer. That's the way. If I make something, there's always at least one layer, because I never want anything to be absolutely boring.
And that's why I interact with
None of this has been boring whatsoever.
Oh, no.
But that is why, guys, I interact with almost everything.
You poke everything.
And this is exactly why I make everything with at least one layer, because there's always one player.
Maybe
That's like an apple falls from a tree. What does the apple taste like? Well,
An apple.
the apple is navigation spell.
so you're all woke up in the morning with a large boom. And
Wait, how much sleep did we get?
you,
Please say it was
you-
8 hours.
You get a full 8 hours. Yeah, everyone who wants it has gotten their long rest. Unless you're staying up through the night doing something in particular.
No, I want my spell slots.
Nope. Nope. We are getting all the
No.
sleep we can. Unlike me.
The announcement kind of comes out that court was called, and then at midday there will be the Nictea cases. One related to succession, and one related to the scarred woman. And what's interesting about this announcement is that the prosecution in both cases, the representation is both Pelly and Cedar. So Pelly is representing the opposing force in both the scarred woman case and the succession case.
That little
Beg your pardon?
Cedar hears this and goes, nope. And she stands up. Can someone come with me? I need to have a discussion with my sister, but I also don't want to go alone.
I am going to try to figure Agatha out. Have fun.
I can go
Yeah.
for it.
Dana, can you come too? Can we just all? Because honestly, I don't want her to try and hit me. She might try and hit me.
Sure.
Just
And
don't.
frankly, I'd like both of you
kill
there. I won't kill her. I would not.
I'm not
never-
talking to you.
I love my. Oh, okay. I was just making sure everyone knew I still love my sister, even though she's being a little backstabbing harpy.
Language.
Not. It's not technically a curse word. It's just not very
It
nice.
sounds like a curse word coming from.
It's just not very nice. She deserves it in this case. And then Cedar starts trying to go find her sister
Where do you look?
around the Nictea dorms, I would think.
Roll an investigation.
28.
There is absolutely no evidence, none whatsoever, including the assigned bed that was assigned to her, was touched in the night. She never returned to the dorms for the Nictea family.
Oh,
Could she be on the
weird.
boats?
Maybe we should go check
Which one's
there.
her
Yeah.
brother? Yeah.
Hey, is ACO still in the dorm?
ACO's there, and so is a lot of your other family.
Hey, ACO.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, sis?
You seen Pelly around anywhere?
Nah, I haven't seen. I figured she'd probably show up at night. I wanted to see her. I haven't seen her in ages, you know. But
Yeah, I remember how close you two were. Yeah.
haven't seen her. She's the only one that hasn't showed up. You know.
Huh. That's kind of concerning.
And he kind of leans in and be like, "So I heard something else that was kind of concerning.
What?
Someone said they saw Mom."
I should probably bring you up to speed about that, actually. So, and she kind of tells him what happened the day before. She tells like the entire thing, just flat out honest with him, like the whole yeah, Silvico, blah blah blah. Nightmare Stone,
Louis
and
Man.
what?
It's like Louis Man.
Yes. And then she kind of like, where is it? Curie, where are you?
Kiri is just with you. At this point, she's going to be completely
Okay.
following you around.
Oh, and so her mom's soul's in this, and she kind of lifts up the like small cat-sized pseudo dragon. I don't know what to do with that, but
Well,
yeah,
if
this
you
is
need
Mom, I guess.
someone to look after her, and he tries to take the pseudo dragon and like stuff it in his coat.
No.
No, I
No.
don't put her in your coat.
But it's Mom. I love Mom.
Put her on your shoulder then.
But it's my mom.
Also my mom.
Yeah, but this is Mom's soul.
Did you have to go through a nightmare maze to get her out of it?
I mean, that's
I don't think
been
so.
my whole life since the family
Look.
disbanded.
I mean,
We can
same
play
though.
Kind of
favourite
guilt
child.
trippy now.
Can we play favorite child
It's either
another
the fire.
time, please?
Oh no, I'm not the favorite.
Oh yeah,
Never
no,
was.
that's totally me. And he like beams.
Okay, I have no idea how that would even
Just
feel. Let's focus on finding Pelly right now.
Right.
We can deal with Pseudo Dragon Mom later.
Yeah. Pseudo Dragon Mom.
Sorry, Miss Sitter. I don't want to speak for you, but I think that was just kind of relevant.
How about this? I'm gonna go find Pelly. You can hold Mom for a little bit. I'm just gonna keep calling it Curie. I gave it a new name because it feels really weird calling it Mom. So you can hold her for a bit. She can decide if she wants to come find me later. Just make sure nothing happens, because I just got her back.
So as you begin to kind of walk away, he spins his back to you, and his cloak kind of flutters, and you can kind of hear the weight of it. But as it does, you see a single teardrop kind of fall down his face and hit the ground as he's just lost in this pseudo dragon's eyes. After you're like, "Hey, Mom's soul is in here, right?" Because he thought she was dead. Everyone did. And as you walk out the room, the pseudo dragon phases from his hands and ends up on your shoulder as you're familiar, and he falls to his knees.
Ah!
No.
Curie! Gracious, Mistress Steak. Okay,
Wait, can
that's
Curie teleport?
terrifying. Yeah.
She can do whatever a familiar does, so you can dismiss, recall, all that kind of stuff.
Could you go spend a little bit of time with ACO? For a little bit.
She stays on your shoulder.
Alright. Okay, we'll deal with this part later.
I guess your mom's really overcompensating.
I think so, yeah. I think she can tell I'm still mad.
Yeah.
I'll work
Yeah.
through that later when I have the mental margin to work through anything other than what's right in front of me.
Where else do you look?
All over. Literally everywhere. Ask, like, if I see any, like, Sartori or Obscura, I ask. I markedly avoid Caleri. I'm just like, nope, I'm not talking to you right now. Anybody from the Caleri family theater is like, no.
Okay, so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you roll. I'm going to. Let's see here. So you said you ask a Satori.
Mhm.
Okay. When you do ask a Satori if they've seen Pelly, they respond with no, knowing that they will be called out for a lie in this building. Because the moment each Satori that you ask, you say no. If you've seen Pelly, the room turns red, and they smile and walk away from you.
They're lying to me. Great, that's fun. Well, remember, Zone of Truth is cast on everything, so the lights keep flashing red. They're lying, and they know where she is.
Okay. So next move.
Next move is I'm gonna start looking in the Sartori dorms. Technically not
Okay.
breaking and entering if I knock.
No, it's just called knocking and entering.
I'm glad you understand, yeah. Cedar walks towards the
At this point, I'm just going along with it.
Who did we see in the forest? I didn't note it, did I? Didn't I note it? Who did we talk to in the forest when we first found who was taking care of your brother and your sister?
We never really had a name for her. She was just like one of the the chieftain or something.
Yeah, she was very nice. She was perfectly chill with me, just summoning back a soul in the middle of her camp.
Yeah.
She was very chill.
Okay, we'll say that it's part of the lesser part of the family then that you ran into, and it will have been. We'll retcon it. It'll be Lady Donnell, and because I was intended it to be a noble family, but I don't think we ever discussed it. So you, Lady Donnell, the woman that you recognize in the forest who was actually taking care of Pelly, answers.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hello again, Cedar.
Hi. Have you seen my sister, Pelly, specifically?
I have, yes.
Oh, thank you. Can you tell me where she is? Because I've been asking around, and so far, your people have been telling me they don't. And then, as you know, Zone of Truth has been kind of saying that they are not exactly being open with me.
That's right.
I'm not gonna hurt my sister. I just need to talk with her.
So, well, I guess honesty is the best policy, isn't it? We are backing your sister. She has stayed with us. She has a good chance at winning and being a ruler. And she has made us certain assurances with our people, with our country, that you've not approached us to make assurances with. So our allegiance is to her. So if you think the Satori will betray the girl who we raised when your family wasn't strong enough to, you're mistaken. If you need her, she's waiting for you in court. But
I would like to speak with her from sister to sister. I do have some news about our family that I think she would really like to hear. And frankly, we didn't exactly part on the best of terms, and I just want to check on her, and I want to make sure that she knows I still love her.
and as the room does not turn red, I understand that you are not attempting subterfuge, but you can understand the suspicion the day before the election takes place, that you would not be necessarily up to everything honest and good. So her avoiding you is intentional, but she is in court awaiting the trial. You can find her in the pews.
Fine. I tried. If you see her, tell her I said hi, and that I love her.
If you hurry.
And tell her when she sees me in court to pay attention to my wings. And with that, Cedar 180 turns and just walks away.
Okay. You could have had time to address her before session started for you. Just remember to keep your voice down and good luck. And she snickers, like maniacally. And even without an insight check, you kind of feel the walls coming in on you a little bit.
Who am I kidding? Can't do this. I'm not cut out for this. And everybody can see it. Even me.
Sorry, what do you mean you're not cut out for this? Do you mean being a leader? Confronting your sister?
Barely cut out to be an Owlin.
What are you talking about?
I've been away
Also,
from my people for so long. I ran away. I didn't check back in with my family. That was a choice I made over 13 years. I never contacted them. I I mean, I thought they were okay. I didn't know until we came back about the whole dissolution of my family, but I was a coward. I became a thief. I mean, Pelly didn't become a thief. Pelly hasn't done the things I've done. Pelly hasn't been involved in, well, the Burning Man incident, what happened at the wedding. I I'm pathetic, and she isn't.
Cedar, you're not pathetic. Pelly hasn't done half the things you've had to because she hasn't had to. Also, it's a very cute cat.
It's a very cute cat.
And as far as not being worthy of being an owlin, you're probably the most worthy owlin I've met. I mean, ACO's cool and all, but worthy. I don't know any of my. I've never met another Urgenazi. I barely know where I come from. That doesn't make me any less worthy.
Okay.
So, don't for a second say that you're not worthy. Because you are, Cedar. You had to do what you had to do to survive. If you go in there, mindset that you're worthy, you'll see it. Pick your.
You're right.
My advice: don't give those elitist the satisfaction. Because they've
Thank
grown up in their ivory tower, cushy little beds, not knowing what it's like out there. You know more of the world than they do. I mean, for goodness sakes, you know, you come from money, but you don't not like them. That's what we need.
Thank you.
And look, if it doesn't work out, you tried your best. Just remember that families aren't always the ones you're born into. Sometimes the people that you meet along the way, yeah.
You also have
Well,
another book.
What?
You have another charge with the book if you need back.
Oh, good point. Thank you.
oh yeah.
Okay. So as far as the
You're right.
time perspective goes, it'll probably be about 11:30 at this point. If you wanted to talk to her in court before session, you would have to go now. If you wanted to get the edge and try to ask a question, that would probably take up your time before you had to be presented.
I ask a question to the book.
Oh wow. Okay.
I gave her a chance. Why keep reaching out if she's not going to hear me, right? Um, and so Cedar opens the book. Okay, this'll help. Hey, Dana,
What's up?
do we want to ask a question for your legal defense, or should I ask a question about how we can about and get some dirt on Silvico?
Get dirt on Silvico.
You sure?
Yep.
All right. Okay. Okay. Give me the dirt on Silvico, Calaris, please.
All right. The pages flip, and the curator starts off with cliff notes, and it just says, "This is probably more like it. A better use of my talents." And you get a novel, a small print novel of his of basically any dealings that he has done, um, including the accounts of payment towards the Scarred Woman and other mercenaries to handle business basically hits. And it's spelled out accounts of how he increased the Navy by taking bribes from the naval commander to then, run escorts for pirates so that they can, smuggle things. And this is basically just all the misdoings of him specifically. The murder of your what was he? Your eyeball.
Uncle,
And
cousin,
uncle,
something. She
cousin,
just
something or
resorted to
other.
calling him uncle.
Yeah,
She's just resorted to calling him
eyeball.
uncle.
And
Eyeball.
and these accounts are not just words. They seem to actually be like carbon copies of any contracts, which is what makes this a little bit longer. So not only are you getting just the cliff notes and what's going on, but you get basically anything that he has done evil, including stealing presents from his siblings on solstices,
Rude.
cheating on
Rude.
girlfriends, the murder of your brother. You actually see a couple of detailed accounts, and then you also see um, his thought process behind marrying you and what that would mean to control another family, so that way his family can maintain power by political marriages. And one of the final pages, because it was the most recent, you actually see the torture of and the bullying of your cousin Castilla, because I think he married Calliope, if I remember right.
Yeah, he married Calliope, and Callista's the other twin.
So the torture and abuse of Callista, and he actually did that specifically because Calliope feels and shares a lot of the pain of her twin sister. So he did that not just to torture her into it, but so her own torture would stop. So that's why she was not physically harmed, but is emotionally broken. And why it was important that she agreed to marry him, so that way the torture would stop. So that way, if anyone ever asked her, she wouldn't be lying. But you see what he did and the descriptions of the weapons and tools that he used.
Monster.
And one of the things that you noted and took part of that stuck out to you is that he doesn't use grounding in a normal sense as punishment. He actually clips the feathers to a point where they will never grow back the same. So he basically takes the flight feathers of birds as torture, as opposed to chopping the wings off entirely, which is the normal regulation. So one is a punishment. His grounding is more of a torture. Is that sufficient for you and your needs, or would you like more?
That's good. We're good. We're good.
Yeah, I didn't know if you were looking for something specific, like ammunition
Oh, that's
to
good.
use. Okay.
That's good. This'll work. This'll work. Cedar's practically quivering with just white hot rage right now. This ends now.
So
Great.
as you enter court, Dana is taken immediately from your party. And
He just joins you guys, by the way, by the time court starts.
His is like, it's time for court. Just pops up out of nowhere.
Gets a bucket of popcorn out.
And you, when you enter, are kind of pulled to the front. There is an empty pew across from where Pelly was sitting, where Kittis and Gale kind of get put. The entire room is full of just owlins in general. You see 3 people presiding, a lot of people standing and watching on both sides. You notice that your side doesn't really have a lot of people, a lot of support. It's actually almost empty, aside from a couple of human mercenaries that have worked with Dana in the past. And then Pelly stands up from the pew that she was waiting at. kind of head down and takes the stand on the adjacent side.
As Pelly does her speech, Cedar will be making direct eye contact with her the whole time. For like an uncomfortably long amount of time.
So vroom vroom.
Goddamn time.
It's funny too because I heard someone yelling outside of your house earlier, and it was the most British sounding thing I've ever heard. It was amazing.
What? You want some? You want some, right?
I was like, oh,
That wasn't outside. That was just me. We get that a lot. It's a busy street. Sorry about that, guys.
No, you're fine. I'm just giving you shit. So, the court is kind of happens, and everyone kind of falls silent. You see a couple of people here for the proceedings, specifically 4 that kind of tunnel in, and you would recognize them as some of the victims of the most recent attack on the party. Family members holding pictures of like their dead husbands and dead wives and people that were actually killed in the we'll call it the red wedding. No, that were killed.
We should call it orange.
Yeah, the orange wedding.
For fire.
There you go. Yeah, it's the orange wedding. And you see a couple of the guards that were there too, kind of stand on the opposite side, basically ready to be called if needed. And they seem to all be on the side of Pelly, because I think they it is assumed, even without an insight check, that that Pelly is probably going to be harder on the sentencing. Now there are 3 great owls, large elderly owls. One from the Obscura that you would recognize as the head of the Obscura. There is one of the head of the Caleris and one head of the Satori. So there was no elder representation from the Nictea clan because both your parents are absent, and so is your eldest brother. So the Obscura one begins to talk and goes, Dana, the scarred woman, do you see yourself as present in this here assembly?
That I do.
The accent threw me.
Now, Dana,
Yeah,
you stand accused of murder of the 16th degree, and then the Satori leans over. No, of the 1st degree, 16 deaths. Of the 16th degrees of murder. How do you plead?
She sits there for a second, and she goes, well, that's complicated, but not guilty.
Not guilty. So you do not acknowledge the deaths of the 16 individuals, the taking of bribes by families for murders that you have committed, and a lifetime of just shenanigans of the evil variety.
May I have a chance to explain myself?
As much as I do not wish to hear you speak, it is your legal right, and I'm obliged to tell you. Do I have to say yes? And he leans over, and the Satori kind of nods. That yes, you have a chance to speak, but know and understand that a lifetime of misdoing will not be undone by a couple of simple words, and the sentencing is deaths of the 16 degrees. Or just the 1st degree of death, but because you killed 16 people recently, right? Yes, okay. And he's like confirming that he's saying everything right.
A word.
So you may speak and open this proceeding.
I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh.
Threw me.
Got me full on giggles started, man.
Okay. But she goes, well, for starters, I have a question for y'all. Do y'all have the ability to see within one's mind?
I would not say that I would want to look inside your mind should I have the ability. I'm sure there are magicians in the court that could probably do so, but you are. Do we do that here? I mean, we've already know she did it. I mean, Satori just kind of. And what degree of dang it, cat. I'm trying to be ridiculous here. It's perfect. It's on par for Obscuras because Obscuras are just dumb farmers. But this is why this is like this. But the cat just keeps. All right. Anyways,
Sakari just trying to pipe up.
what angle are you playing at to see inside your mind? Please
Well, you
explain.
see, so as I said, my sentencing is complicated because Denali Beach Pride is in no way, shape, or form guilty. The Scarred Woman is guilty on every account. And those are two separate people within the same body.
He kind of looks over at the Caleris and says, "Do we have the wrong person?
No. This
person?
is physically it's the right person, but mentally it's two different people.
Can we kill just the one?" and then Satori's like, "No, stop being an idiot. She has to die." Oh, well, so, even if what you say is true, your evil deeds inhabit the body that needs to be put to death. Would you say that is correct?
I would, but what if I could tell you that I have hypothetical ideas, and I know hypotheticals are, well, hypothetical, but I have ideas on how to eradicate the part of me that did everything. So in effect, you could kill one without killing the other.
Well, I think that's the goal here, right? Just to kill this woman. Are you pleading
I'm 1000% pleading insanity. Yes.
But okay. But your insane person is still inside your person.
Yes.
Okay. So what are you saying that we could kill the insane person?
I'm saying that hypothetically, we could purge the mind of this other half.
I say hypothetically, it'd probably be easier to hang you with weights around your feet.
Oh, most definitely. But then, would it? And this is in no way, shape, or form meant as a threat. So I do hope you acknowledge that. Would it look good on the court of the Great Owls to have an innocent murder on your hands?
Well, let me ask you to turn your gaze towards the families of those you have recently made your victims. Families, would this insanity play suffice? And they all just kind of stay silent. So we will. I am not a learned man by any degree, but I'd say that silence, not violence, silence is louder than the words of your statement that you opened with. Now we will take your plea into consideration as this court hearing continues, or adjourns. No, that's when we finish, right? Yes. Okay. So
As this happens, Cedar kind of looks over towards Gale and Kittis, like, this is what I grew up around.
Now,
I think I know more about legal proceedings than this guy. What's going on?
we will all have a chance to talk. Dana, thank you for your words. But you still stand against a court where death is your final sentencing. Do you understand this?
That I do, Your Honor.
Oh, see, look at that. I'm honored today. That's right. And he kind of smiles. Thank you for recognizing the honor that is to be had in my position. And he kind of is
Oh
pleased with
my
himself.
word.
Now, Cedar,
I think we could just win by flattery.
you have been assigned to defend this person or these people inside this person as so they would claim. And you were late. You may speak first. What is the appropriate sentencing that you feel for the scarred woman? And what is believed to be your friend that your traveling companion is with as such? And he tried to sound smart, but he totally fucked up what he was trying to say.
I may be a simple country chicken lawyer.
Gotta get over that statement real quick before
Sorry.
I start. Okay, I'm back. All right.
I'm Mont Blanc.
Harry, gosh dang it. All right. Your Honor, while I believe that the scarred woman does need to be disposed of, I do not believe that it is right within the morals set for us by our ancestors, the great owls, to let an innocent die as well. Frankly, with recent events, I believe that we could pull off the killing of the one without the other. I have some ideas myself, in fact, on how this could be done that just occurred to me on this very morning. But out of all people, I think I know the dichotomy that is present in Denala Beach Pride. In fact, according to her own testimony, I was one of her intended victims. Now, she can say as much as she wants to on this. However, she, as Denala Beach Pride, chose not to. So there is good in this woman. And from traveling with her for the past couple months, I've seen this. Denala Beach Pride and the Scarred Woman are two completely different entities. So I believe that separation and then destruction is necessary.
Now, before I let you continue, you do not have assurances, and he kind of nods to the Satori, with your statement. Would you say you could separate this scarred woman and put her to death in this before Dana steps foot outside this courtroom? You are speaking in a hypothetically manner. Hypothetical? You are not speaking in absolutes.
I believe I could.
You believe you could. And there's a little bit of rabble. So go ahead and roll your performance.
And is this what I get the +5 on with my necklace? Actually, I want to save that.
If you choose to use it, yes.
You only have how many charges do you have?
It's unlimited.
It's unlimited.
Mm-hmm. It's if she's addressing a group.
You said performance?
It is a performance, and or a persuasion. I guess it would be, whichever you'd prefer, because you are addressing a group. Because you were kind of addressing everybody.
I would like to use my my necklace, one of my necklace charges.
Okay. Now remember, the necklace is unlimited. You can use it as many times as you want. You are attuned to it as a magical item.
Right.
It is a cursed magical item, though.
Right.
Okay. So
I know.
I just don't want you to think it's limited. There's just an effect.
Gotcha. So that would be a 14.
Okay.
Hey, DM, can I get you to check your messages when you have a sec?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
I had already kind of thought of that. I'm gonna see how this plays out.
Okay.
Because the condition for that necessarily hasn't been met yet, because there was something you were supposed to be doing with this time that you haven't done.
Right.
So that's why I was kind of wondering.
Mhm.
But we'll see.
Okay.
Because a 14 is not a strong roll.
Yeah.
It's not strong, but it's as strong as I could get it.
I know. It's good enough. And was that with a necklace or no?
With the necklace.
Okay.
Oh God.
All right.
Oh,
So, Miss Cedar. Now, I'm not a smart man, so I need you to explain to me and the rest of this court and to these here family members of the victims, what is your exact process that you would take that you feel would be sufficient to absolve this physical body of punishments of the crimes?
I'm glad you asked. First off, I am by trade a wizard, and I have come across a spell of a new sort of magic. It is a geomancy spell, and with it, I could create a stone vessel of sorts for the soul to be transferred within, for the soul of the scarred woman to be transferred within. Once she is inside the stone body, we would destroy said stone body, therefore executing and ending the scarred woman, and leaving Denala Beach Pride intact and in her own body. Simple as that.
And he leans over to the Caleris representative. And now, have you ever heard of anything like that? The melding of and splitting of the soul, the essence. And the Caleris representative kind of speaks up and says, "We are not aware of a physical consciousness and memories being linked to the feelings and emotions of a soul. The memories of the person would still be there regardless of if their soul was missing, at least in the way that we understand it as the subject. So what she's asking for is not something that we understand, and it would be something that a knowledge that she would only possess."
Not I alone. I also call upon the experience, and I would say relative expertise of Cadis Belta. And then Cedar kind of goes like that, like, get up here.
Who is...
You got it. Sophie, you did not let me have any preparation with this.
I didn't know I was going to do this.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I love you so much.
Uh-huh. Kind
is-
of bullshit. DM, I need to make sure I have information.
You don't need to say anything, and you wouldn't actually probably be allowed to speak just yet.
Okay.
So might I inquire that how you know this person?
Your Honor, I've been traveling with her for the past few months, almost to a year. And within this time, Miss Belta has shown a expertise for both necromancy magic and an understanding of how souls are working and how one can see soul magic, as it were. For one, she herself is a split soul. Not in the same way as Miss Beach Pride, but I think that the same methodology can be used here. And in fact, she even helped me this morning when I had to use certain types of this magic in order to save my mother.
Your mother?
Yes.
Who, as we understand it, was lost to the Isle of Voices.
Yes, that was my understanding up until last night and this morning as well. It was quite a shock to me as well, I'll have you know.
Can you please produce your mother, as this courtroom does not seem to feel you are lying.
Well, and then she kind of, this is what we were able to transfer her soul into. And she kind of holds up the pseudo dragon.
That's a baby dragon. That's not your
I'm
mother.
aware. It's a pseudo dragon, different from a baby dragon, fundamentally.
Fundamentally not your mother.
The soul is my mother's. This dragon egg was given to me devoid of a soul. And in order to effectively save my mother's soul, we channeled her soul into the empty body of this pseudo dragon, which then hatched and is now my mother. Trust me, it is a lot to process. I know.
Pelly raises an interjection. Granted, Miss Pelly. As our Claris representative brought up, and understandably you are not lying, or you do not believe you're lying, does that dragon contain the memories of our mother?
I believe so, and I would have told you about it sooner had you agreed to come talk with me when I wanted to speak to you before the court today.
So you believe, and I understand what Pelly was getting at here, and by I understand, I was just received a note from my Satori compadre that states you were able to separate, but it still retains the memories of the mother. So you do not know for a fact that the soul and memories of misdeeds would in fact not be connected.
I think that they do retain a certain level of memories, but I do need further. Seeing as this is a new source of magic within our world, it does need more time for us to know the full capabilities of it. However, I do believe that this holds my mother's memories as well, seeing as she was never the most attentive of mothers, no offense. But ever since being put in this pseudo dragon form, she has not left my side. And I believe this is a form of overcompensating for past lackings.
But could it not also be the fact that she is just your familiar? I have one of
It's
my
not
own,
also,
you
it's
see.
also not exactly familiar. I'm still trying to figure this out myself.
My familiar is an oxen, and he did not leave my side either. He plows my fields for me, and he is quite wonderful. In fact, I could summon him even now, but I do not think a cow would be the appropriate place for a courtroom, or vice versa. I think you understand the inflection of what I'm saying.
Yeah, I can understand that. Yeah.
Now, Bessie is a beautiful cow, though, I might add. And she will plow the fields like the rest of them.
I'm sure she is.
But
I'm sure she's a mighty beast.
She would also not leave my side, as my
We
familiar.
also share the same bed.
And I don't know who just spoke in the background, but yes, there have been many a night where I stayed by her bedside when she was ill. Before she was my familiar. Sharing a hay bale at night.
Oh my god. Oh.
But that is beside the point. You are.
Yeah.
You surmise you wish to experiment with a soul to appease the victims of these families. Now, thank you for your time and speaking. You may interject as well, but I believe it is now Pelly's turn to speak, as we have limited time before we move on to our next case. Pelly, what say you? Your greatest of honors, thank you for this opportunity to talk. Yeah, and he kind of nudges the Satorium. Yeah, honor, yeah.
I'm telling you.
Now, I have also had the opportunity to travel with this woman, the scarred woman. I do not believe she should be held unaccountable for her actions on experimental magic. In fact, I am standing here before the court to not propose the death sentence, because I don't think a quick death would be appropriate for the pain and suffering that she inflicted on her most recent victims, as well as any misdoings of the past that we're not even really focusing on. These people are my friends. They've came to me directly, and with a request from them that I stand by, that if the scarred woman wishes to fight, then her death should be brought by an arena, by a challenge, and that she is a noble warrior, And this I know with the time I've spent with her, and we have even slugged it out ourselves. And there's always a reason why she fights. And what they say is true. I believe the scarred woman and Dana are two different people, but I don't believe there's a way to separate them, because at the core of this person is still a murderer and a killer. So I say, let them fight for what little life they have left. Honor them with honor, as honor is what we have as owls. It is in our very core, and I've learned with my time with the Satori what honor and tradition means, and I believe that that tradition calls for a chance at redemption, or the honor of letting her die at her feet, on her feet, with her own two hands. And I do believe the families of the people behind me would agree that a hanging would be too quick. It's a short drop with a sudden stop, and too easy a death for the pain, misery, and horror that she has caused in her lifetime. So I decree a trial by combat. At least that gives her a chance to live, as she then makes eye contact directly with Cedar. Because I don't believe some pseudo magic that no one truly understands would be enough. Because her breath needs to leave her lungs. Her blood needs to be drained and corded from her body. And everything needs to be taken away from her. And the people behind her start to cheer, and like the people in the crowds are also cheering. And the order in this courtroom here, you see. I will not have these outbursts in my presence, as I am an honorable man, and a great man, and a good farmer. Please try my turnips. They're in the great hall this fine evening.
Oh my god.
Cedar's just getting progressively confused the longer this man talks.
So no, sorry, go ahead.
No. So we will take a moment to deliberate, but you may all have closing statements now.
Right. So Dana's gonna pipe up and she's gonna go, well, to start this off, I guess to finish it. This is very unorthodox, but I agree with the opposition. I don't deserve a quick death. I don't deserve just snap of the fingers and it's done. I deserve the long and the painful way. For everything I did, everything she did, even if it's not me, even if it never was. I Because it took place in my body, I don't deserve the easy way out. But I would like to present another option because also in agreement with the opposition, I don't believe this pseudo magic can do the trick. So I would like to present another option. But for that, I will need assistance from one of your most powerful wizards, if you will allow it. Not for them to do anything, just for a demonstration of my own mind.
Highly unorthodox. But as we are closing, I will hear your request, as I am an honorable and great man.
That you are the most honorable and most great.
Then speak your piece.
I I would like a wizard to project my own consciousness out in front of everybody here so that they can see twice. Once prior to what I plan, once after. So that they can see what it looks like. That there are truly two people within this skull.
Now, are you familiar with a spell that would do such a thing?
No, but I imagine such a high level wizard is. Is that false? Sorry to throw this on you.
I'm looking at something here.
Yeah.
Because I know they have items for this, but I'm trying to remember
Mhm.
if there was actually a spell.
I don't think so.
Yeah. There are items that do this though. But between individuals, not so much as a projection. Like
Mhm.
there's like share thought stuff. I was looking to see if maybe there was something I didn't know.
Right. Well, so I kind of had a thought for this. Maybe they could like do like a detect thoughts, and then it gets almost projected throughout Dana's crystalline eye, like a projector.
Hmm. Well, I shall hear. Oh, hey Nishka. Hey baby, why did you just do that? Do you miss Mama? Sorry, I don't know if you saw it on camera, but she put her paw up on my chest.
Oh.
Oh,
Now she's just
wait, the
sitting
cattle
there.
Bessie.
Right, this is my Bessie right here.
The
I
cow
do
comes up and
declare a
puts the whole.
cow has gotten into this cot room right here.
Now I dare say that I dare say that I will convene with my grand wizards in this here courtroom, and he kind of looks at the Caleris, who's like the smartest one in the room. And I will, or excuse me, the Satori, who's the smartest. And I will see if we can accommodate your request. However, I do not feel it appropriate, as I do not want it to sway your final verdict. But I am to understand that you agree with Lady Pelly's request at your, what's the word, sentencing.
That I do. If my plan does not go to fruition, if my plan does not work, I accept the trial by combat.
And what say you, Cedar, as the defense?
That's me. Sorry.
Quiet back
Bless
there.
you.
No more
Bless you.
rabble.
My allergies are acting up.
This place is a fair bit dusty now, isn't it?
I will defer to my client's wishes if that's what she's sure about.
Pelly kind of just speaks. I've known her good side, as I have known her bad side. I would see her dead, but never without hope. And that is where I will rest my statement. So the court kind of gets quiet for a moment as the three kind of deliberate.
And just before they start deliberating, may I make one final request towards the opposition?
Well, you've had your chance to speak, but as we are still determining, what do you have to say for yourself?
I I don't wish to put anyone else to death, so I would ask that my trial by combat not be to the death, and if I do fail, Pelly her I would quite prefer if Pelly herself put an arrow through my skull, as she's one of the most talented warriors I've seen in quite a while.
We will hear your request. Thank you. Now I'm going to let you know mechanically, Pelly rolled a 16. And then, because you guys agreed with her and didn't argue with her, I counted Dana as the assist,
That's fine.
and re-rolled with advantage at a 19. So I will say that you also, um, what's the word? Seceded your ability to roll again because you did not provide farther argument. So mechanically, and I'll even show you the dice. I have a 16 and a 19. I don't know if you guys can see them because I can't see what's on the camera.
Yeah, no, I can see it.
Okay.
Mhm.
So left him there. So what we are gonna do is, because I like rule of cool, the Satori representative is going to approach you. And she is going to kind of pull painfully your eye out of your head for a moment. Like she's going to like pull it, and it's still going to be like partially attached by like the optic nerve and stuff like that. And she is going to take a medallion of thought that she has, and she's going to kind of break it and kind of press the inscription onto your eye and jam it back into your head.
Okay.
And I'll let you explain, I guess, what is seen.
So what is seen is it's the whole scene of, well, so first it starts as the scene of the house slowly going up in flames, and this purple protective almost cocoon is formed around Dana once the fires become unruly. And she's just stuck there to watch as everything around her perishes, as nothing can get in, but nothing can get out either. It's almost like resilience sphere. And and then you just and then it kind of pans in on her mind, and it replays, and you just see as time progresses the fracture in her mind, and it's almost as if half of her brain is on fire, and you hear that chuckling coming from that half of her mind, whereas the other half is just pleading for it all to stop. And that's it.
So let me roll an insight on him. Let's see. Fucking shit. Are you kidding me? So I rolled an insight to see if I'm getting your interpretation correctly, and I just rolled a nat 20. By probably
Hell
the
yeah.
dumbest guy in the room. Literally the dumbest.
Wait, hang on a second.
So what's your...
Hey, Gail's still here.
Oh, wow.
That's so mean.
Now what you're
I
saying
mean, you're not wrong. However,
is that your connection to this envelopment, this purple, separated your mind.
No, the purple protected me from the fire, having to watch my family perish in front of me, and being able to do nothing, say nothing, is what I believe created the divide.
So,
And now,
so
if I may continue with my idea,
well, you said you had a plan.
how'd I do? And she gets down on her knees, raises her hands up to show she has nothing, lifts up her cloak to show that there's nothing, and then goes behind her back and pulls out the flute.
Pulls out
And
the what?
just the flute.
Mm-hmm.
And she just softly, slowly begins to play. And it's this very sweet, somber song. And mechanically, that was a dirty 20 for performance. as she is praying to White.
Okay.
And you know the rest.
Mm. So, as our wise Pelly said in her closing statement, that you should never be without hope. But you are broken, and you are fractured, and you have hurt many people. And you will see your trial by combat, and you will see yourself fulfill your redemption should you win the day.
And she'll stop playing the flute, and she'll just go, one moment. It's not over just yet. And if you wouldn't mind telling me, DM, was I successful?
In your prayer?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it's gonna go off?
What exactly? Hold on. Do you want to message? Did you message me? Can
Yeah.
you?
No, I did not, but I will.
Yeah.
Okay. Sent over.
Gotcha. So, not exactly. Um, so the conversion doesn't happen right now. But you feel a shifting inside of you. That you
Okay.
feel, and you feel yourself stepping through a door. You have one foot into the unknown, and the other half still keeping you on the path that you're in. And roll an insight.
Okay. 21.
You get the feeling that you're experiencing the same thing Gale felt when Shanti was trying to keep him away from Aquafina. Whereas you have one step forward, and the scars on your right side have disappeared, but your left side, your scars remain
Mm-hmm.
as you're stuck in between.
And she'll having taken off the cloak to show that she has no form of weaponry on her. She'll look up at the court and go, "It's not yet complete, but this," and she gestures to her arm, "should be some sort of proof that it is in progress. And if you wouldn't mind repeating the projection."
And the wizard kind of commits another spell slot, essentially to activate
Mm-hmm.
the projection.
And this time, if you wouldn't mind telling me what scene, because I don't know.
um, you yourself see it, but no one else does. Now, what you don't know is if it's a metaphor or something that actually needs to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But the projection doesn't activate, and what instead happens is all of time stands still. as you see a tear in front of you, a white tear, a white light shining through it, almost like staring into the sun. As an image in your mind happens of kind of like what you already experienced with the multitudes of timelines, but instead of the one you were seeing that you were on, you begin to see another one, a different past, a different present, and then in a moment you see yourself driving your weapon into the top of the skull of a woman who looks exactly like Purple in an arena as she falls to the ground dead. The crowd cheering for you, and as you spin around, looking at the crowd, and the crowd looking at you, and you absorbing that moment, your scars go missing. Your path has changed, and you feel you're a completely different person.
Okay, so I will. Do I just look into this tear, or do I have to walk through it?
You just look into it.
Okay.
There's basically a glimpse of a different timeline.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Is this good?
Yeah.
Okay. And just as soon as the spell dissipates and doesn't activate, the gavel comes down. Your trial will commence, and your punishment will be due. You will go to Gem, the fighting city, and you will be sentenced, with and without your hope. And you see everyone that was actually on Pelly's side actually kind of pissed that, like, it doesn't seem like it's going to be rigged against you. That you actually have hope, and they wanted you to have none. Now, next on our agenda is who will be representing the Nectea. And as you are both present, we shall discuss. This will be an open discussion. And you will... And although we have already kind of made up our minds as to what we would like to see, we would like to know or feel why you are qualified to present your argument over the next 3 days to your people and everybody else as to why you should rule. So please, Cedar, speak. What makes you a better leader than your sister Pele?
If it's all the same to you, Your Honor, I would like to give my sister Pelly the privilege of speaking first.
You definitely have a problem with authority, do you not? Pele, do you acquiesce to the request of your sister? I do, Your Honor. I feel that I am fit to rule and represent my family. Not because I am any better than my sister, but because I have been working towards this goal for longer than she has. I have a plan that will fit all 4 people of our nation. I did not run from my family and my duty. I've worked from hiding with different families for years. I have not kept party with murderers and psychopaths that hold trial. I have not kept party to Fae worshippers. My strength has always been my own, and I walk a straight path. Her weakness to defend her friend should be evidence enough that she's not fit to rule this country, that she will just take a knee before defending her ideals, that her arguments are based off of not facts, but pseudosciences. I am not going to say I am a better candidate than my sister, but I am going to let her actions speak for herself in the eyes of this fair court. And a pretty decent roll. So, and that is all I have to say on that matter.
Is it now Cedar's turn to speak?
Yeah,
or
Cedar's turn to speak. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, sorry. I just didn't know. I didn't want to jump
No,
ahead
you're
if they were gonna say something.
Mhm.
She gets up, stands in front of the court, and does a deep forward bow. Ladies and gentlemen of the Council of the Blessed Isle, I come before you today as a stranger, though some of you may know my old name. I am currently Cedar Strigine, formerly Cedar Nictea, fifth daughter of the House of Nictea. I come forth today to contest the claims of Peli Nictea, seventh daughter of the House of Nictea, Queendom. Before I make my own case, let me state, I feel no malice towards my sister. That is not the reason for my defiance of her claim, but instead a love and a desire to protect her, the people, and the balance of nature itself. I know you're all wondering why, after so many years, I have reappeared out of the mist. I've spent the past 13 years in hiding. When I was 10 years of age, my parents arranged that one of the women of my family would be married to Silvico Caleris. He was allowed to pick from the group of us, as if we were nothing but cattle. I was the youngest there, and I didn't want to be there. I was waiting for the meeting to be over. He saw that I did not wish to participate, and because of this, he picked me. He was 18, and I was merely 10 years old. I sincerely hope that I don't need to elaborate as to why this is deeply wrong. Later that day, he approached me in order to introduce himself. I will not disclose the exact details of the discussion, but it left me disturbed, scared, and wondering why my parents and the kingdom that I grew up in would allow such behavior of a nobleman. I wished to leave the discussion as soon as possible, but he cornered me. I had to lash out physically, leaving the scar across his eye that he still sports today before I could get away. I no longer felt safe to tell my parents of this, since they had allowed the situation in the first place. So I ran instead to the one person in the world I could trust, my older brother, Strix Nictea. He went to confront Silvico and defend me. He fought with honor and bravery, but Silvico won via a dirty trick and waiting until my brother's back was turned. Strix died in my arms from a stab to the torso that punctured his lungs. Soon after this, I ran away from home, no longer feeling safe there. My life became one misfortune after another. I was caged and nearly sold as an exotic pet by a group in the town of Gem. I became a thief, solely for my own survival, and became friends with a man who would end up betraying me and tricking me into stealing from innocent people, despite my telling him I wouldn't do so. I then stowed away on a boat and started anew on the other continent, where I pursued my lifelong dream of becoming a wizard. With no money or family connections, I had to resort to teaching myself magic and posing as a student in magic schools as long as I could keep up the ruse. Eventually, I found myself at the Whispering Obelisk Mage Society, where Headmaster Mai Tallis took me under her wing, so to speak. I studied there for 4 years. It was then, when the steam charges spread, that my party and I began to notice a worsening imbalance between society and nature. We quickly realized that something about the steam charges was negatively impacting the fairy beings, as well as nature itself. These steam charges suck the life and magic out of these beings who did not ask for this. In addition, it has allowed cracks in our reality in which evil beings are slipping through, such as the twisted beasts plaguing our skies. You may not think that this concerns us. We nobles have a tendency to regard the problems of the common people as distant from us. However, these fey beings are integrally tied with nature. Silvico was extracting magic from the Fey Queen of Water herself. Since freeing her, the land has become more lush. Had he been able to continue siphoning her power, how long would it have been before the droughts began? This problem affects everyone, even us nobles, on a primal level. Are you willing to risk our very survival, and that of Tuatim as a whole? House Obscura, I know you depend on the balance of nature for your wonderful agriculture. House Sartori, I've always admired your respect for nature and your deep ties with its changeability and beauty. Our lives are inextricably tied to the Fae. We descended from Fae creatures for Mistress' sake, the giant owls, and what would they think of our inaction? This is our problem to fix. We've allowed evil to wind its tendrils around our hearts for far too long. We've allowed too much to go on in the shadows while turning a blind eye. The Caleris family have allowed Silvico to prey on the young women of my family with impunity. He murdered my brother when I refused to bend to his will. He sent an assassin after Viscount Talon. He ran my family out of our home, scattering a family with young children to the four winds. He captured my brother Sikaba and my cousins Calliope and Callista. He has been holding Callista hostage in order to force Calliope to marry him. He put Calliope on a leash. And this scar over my eye, it's recent. He had it put there as retribution for the actions of a scared 10-year-old. He also sent an assassin after me, the scarred woman herself. However, she was the only person to recognize that I, a child, did not deserve the hell Silvico put me through. She chose not to come after me, and she is the only person to whom doing nothing about my situation has actually helped me. House Obscura turned a blind eye. House Sartori did nothing to hold the House Caleris accountable. However, they harbored my siblings once they had been run out of our home. For that, you have my undying gratitude. But I must not merely throw stones while standing in a glass house. The House Nictea is not without its own blemishes. My parents stood by and did nothing when Silvico preyed on me and murdered my brother Strix. They were unsatisfactory, both parentally and as king and queen of our lands, in cold honesty. However, they are no longer with us in one sense or another. And it is the God's duty to deal with them as they may. So we shall speak no more of them. As I stated previously, I had to do regrettable things to survive on my own. I had to do regrettable things in order to make sure I could stand in front of you today. I refer to a deal that I made recently with the Hag of the Isle of Voices. It was the only way to escape the Isle, making a deal with that detestable being. I've since broken said deal with the Hag, a feat rarely, if ever, heard of before, in order to make my case today, as she attempted to keep me from doing so. I gave this hag the name I was given when I hatched, Cedar Nictea. However, I come before you today not as Cedar of House Nictea, but as Cedar of House Stragine, in memory of the one owlin brave enough to stand up for a scared child. I come before you unbeholden to this hag, and I have the loss of my wings to show for that. Then she unfurls her new set of wings. I can only fly today due to the ingenuity of my adopted daughter, Kittis Velta. Unfortunately, the same cannot be said for my sister Pelly. She says she comes to you out of only her own strength. This is not true. She is still beholden to the hag, and indeed willingly used the hag's influence to stand where she is today. Her actions are the direct cause of the loss of my wings. I love my sister, and I forgive her. But the name Nictea belongs to her as little as it belongs to me. Stragine, however, is mine alone. I do not expect simply to come before this council and demand the abolition of Fae steam charge production and trade without offering suitable replacement for the prosperity of the Isle. I have plans to emphasize the sale and export of the intricate textiles and handicrafts of the Sartori, the lush agriculture of the Obscura, and even the protective technology of the Caleris. While I will abolish the steam charge trade, my compatriots and I will find a suitable alternative power to the technology, especially for the sentient technology such as the warforged owlin the Caleris have been using to guard the cities. I entreat you to hear all that I have said and make your choice. I grasp not for a golden crown like a hunter pursuing her prey, but I humbly open my hands that I may receive the next brick with which I may help build a better future for the Isle and for our existence. Thank you for your time.
Damn, that's what happens when I give you guys 2 weeks to prepare for stuff.
Yeah.
Nicely done, Sophie.
No.
Nicely done.
Look at this!
Oh my gosh.
We have sat and discussed on what to do about this.
Oh my gosh. And
Need some
breathe.
water, my mouth is dry.
Yeah.
So go ahead and take your roll with advantage for your performance or your persuasion, whichever one you want to do.
Holy cow.
Along with the +5.
If she uses it, yeah.
I am
Use plus
absolutely
five.
using this. Dirty 20.
Okay. Now it sounds like you went above and beyond what we were asking you here today to do. As the next 3 days you will have ample time to express your plan, which it sounds like you had. Now, this is not normally what we do, but Pele, I wish for you to express your plan, much like your sister did. And we can absolve this likely now with your next words. She kind of stammers a bit, because she wasn't expecting to actually do this. You know what I mean? She was expecting to win one case and then discredit you with it. And she says, my plan is simple yet robust. Again, my sister falls on her words, and eloquently spoken as they were, I would like to state that I forgive you too for the things that you've done and the abandonment of our people. I want you to remember that you run before you fight, and that you were absent, and you have no understanding or jurisdiction on the life that I lived. And she's addressing you directly, coldly. But you are my sister. And I would like you to know that if you win this bout between us, I will still support you, as I should, with my dying breath. Now that being said, to the court, as this is, again, not usually discussed in this capacity, my plan would be one that has never been done before for our people, and that will be to open our borders completely. The family that I hid in the Satori, they taught me our traditions, and I promised them to bring and maintain those traditions throughout our nation as we open our doors to the world. Because something is coming, something that cannot be undone, that Cedar acknowledged and gratefully has taken the first steps to fix, and that the Caleres have schemed to destroy not just our nation, but parts of the entire world. And this I can contest as true, just as she can. But that is not meaning that they are not without our use, or their use, as all families will have their use in this world that I bring. We will open these borders to scholars. We will export what we have in knowledge to the rest of the world. One of the things that we learned with the Satori was a nomadic farming that we will bring to the Obscura to increase the yield of food that we have in crops, so that we may feed not only our people, but the rest of the people that will be joining us with excess to give to the rest of the world, so that they may know us. These trade ships will require escorts. As you know, the drought that was caused by the Caleres has killed many trees, and while they still have their use before they rot, we will turn them into ships, not just for the water, but for the sky, as they will protect these people that trade our goods and that we trade with. So this will benefit both families, but the family that will benefit the most will be the Satori, as they will be the ambassadors of our traditions, of our people, so that we may stay intact. And to do this, every family, when they come of age, will have a representative child who will go on a pilgrimage, not just under the table as we do now, but it will be their duty to do so, to gather knowledge from the world and bring it back, so that way we may fold it into our traditions. I have no doubt that my sister would be a good ruler, as she is a good person at the end of the day, and I love her with all of my heart. She's very inexperienced, as we all are, being the young ones of the Nictea family. But I, unlike my sister, do not have a name that I go by other than Nictea, and I will bring every ounce of that name, not for revenge of the Caleres, not to be damaged and scorned by a past that was equally caused by them for her as it was me and the rest of my brothers and sisters. I will not walk forward with pain in my heart, or a scar worn on my face, beaten, as I am only myself, but that will be who I give to my great nation, to the Blessed Isle, to every person that cross paths with me. Please hear my words. Thank you for your time. I rolled a 3.
Yeah.
Hey.
So I think we've heard everything that we need to say, or everything that needed to be said, or man, I'm just no good. We need to recess. I'm getting tired of all this nonsensical words that people keep making up and putting in front of me today. But no, those are real words. I digress. See, I can use the big words too, like digress.
It's like 7 letters.
So, Cedar, you may represent your family in the coming days of court. You may speak your case, and you will be voted upon. However, it will be under the stipulation and understanding that if your words fall on deaf ears over the coming days, your sister will be right there to take her place, and she will be allowed to make her case if your words fall short on the ears of the people. Do you understand and accept?
I accept.
Now understand one thing. We understand and hear your history, but what we not accept is more death of our fellow Owlin. You will make peace, or you will be dejected from this court, and you will be allowed to live anywhere you want with whatever name you have or wish to use. If you are to represent your people, you will do it wholly, solely, and not with pain in your heart, but with love. You understand?
I understand.
Although you won today, if you show even an ounce of weakness, an ounce of give in to your history with the Caleres, you will be deemed too weak to rule. So do not wear your history as a badge of honor, that is something you overcame. You are not a woman scorned in the eyes of this court, and that is the reason why you have the opportunity to proceed. You understand?
I understand.
Then good luck in the coming days. I hope to see what you can bring to this great nation, because you acknowledge, just as we all acknowledge, it's been harder for my Bessie to till the land without good water. And it has been hard for the nomads to spread their words to the rest of the world when there is misery. When only one house is succeeding, we all fail. Good luck. You have the support of the Obscura. And then the Satori and Claire shoot him like a fucking nasty look for saying that.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Now get out of here. I'm hot and I'm thirsty. And he gets up and he like, basically, you keep that collar on your girl. She'll show up in gym. You will oversee that personally. I'm sure of it.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm hungry too. Anyone want some turnips? He kind of gets up and
Dana's
he,
just gonna
Oh my
Dana's gonna
god.
kind of like raise her hand, like, sure, yeah.
he tosses you a turnip. Now, if that ain't the best damn turnip you've ever had in your life, you be lying. And then he pulls out an onion and just eats a raw onion in front of you.
Oh god. Like whole
Seriously?
style.
Surprise.
Oh.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. So court has been adjourned for now. And you will be allowed to represent and explain your plan. So I'll explain to you the next 3 days. We'll probably have to do it next session though, because I have rehearsals here in just a second, and I'm sure Gail's ready for bed.
Yeah.
But basically,
Got
you
workers
will
on.
be presenting your ideas, and it will be a skill challenge. So you will have to explain how your rule will benefit the Blessed Isle for each house. Obviously, your house will be benefiting because you win, so you don't need to represent your house, but you'll have to explain how the Obscura will do well, Satori do well, and Claire's do well. Depending on how well you do the speech, which is like the advantage I gave you today, kind of like how we did, depending on how well you spoke to that, I was going to give you a bonus die, but instead I'm just roll another d20, because it's probably better. You'll be awarded bonus die on how well you present your argument, and you'll be rolling against, you'll be basically rolling, I'll have 4 dice that I roll against, without bonuses, to see who votes for who. So it'll basically be a skill challenge that I'll have to, it'll be fair, but present your case, you'll get your bonus die in your roll, you can still use the necklace because you'll be addressing everybody, and then basically I will roll to see how many votes get thrown your way, based off of, I don't want to explain the whole thing, but it'll be a skill challenge. But so if you do half as good as you did today, I'm sure you will be getting tons of dice, because that was awesome. I have to say that was
That was so
well
good,
done.
Sophie.
Really?
Very well done. I honestly was
you.
not expecting that at all.
No, that was.
So I was like, I don't even know. I'm like, I'll have a half-hearted argument so you know where she stands, but I'm like, nope. I'm not even bothering.
Sophie wins.
Basically.
Thank you. Oh, once the kind of court adjourns, I want to have Cedar go over to Pelly.
Okay.
We're doing this.
Oh
Doing it.
man.
Okay.
Yeah, we're doing this.
She steps down.
And her friends can choose to follow if they want.
She'll step down and step into kind of the center and put up a hand to shake it for you, to you.
She shakes her hand. You did good up there. I don't appreciate the personal attacks, but other than that, you did good up there.
Thank you. I've been preparing for this for a while. You gave me the opportunity to call the court, and I honestly didn't anticipate you actually wanting this.
I don't. I'm doing it to protect all of us. I'm not doing it for me.
Which is why I'll
Still think I'm
succeed.
spineless, sister?
You're not a spineless sister, in my eyes.
Then why did you say that? Before you left the cave? Those were your exact words.
I've been playing this game for a long time. The deals and promises I've made to the Satori to garner their favor. The interactions I've had with the Obscura, and the breaking of your confidence was all calculated. But not for the reasons you think. My deal with the hag was not to put me on the throne. It was to put the proper ruler on the throne. So she directed me to push you in ways to make you show up. And she was right. You showed up.
So essentially, just a pawn in your game. You're just like mom and dad.
Someone
You know, I did think that I could trust you. And I thought I'd found solace in having my sister back. I trusted you. And I love you. But I don't think I can trust you anymore. And that breaks my heart.
You don't need to. I don't trust you or the friends you keep. But what I do trust is your ability to rule. And so I hope you understand that somebody needed to keep the family going. And I did not expect it to be me. But I'm gladly passing it off to you. Because I am tired of hurting people. And I'm tired of playing the game. And honestly, I'm exhausted thinking about Kittis at any point of the day.
I'm gonna offer you toast.
Because I don't know how you do it.
Are any of your friends close enough to hear this?
Probably.
I'm gonna offer you toast.
But
Butthead?
she is a wonderful person, but she is exhausting. You adopted her? You acknowledge that you are taking her in front of a court? Because you realize that makes it a thing, right?
Those three have been the closest thing to acting like family that I've had since Strix. And I love you. I love you so much, Pelly. That's why I'm doing this. But those three are the only people in the world who don't see me as pathetic. And who actually have built me up. You may think you're doing what's best for me. But I'm not a pawn, I am a person. Those three acknowledge that. Strix acknowledged that. And frankly, don't sling attacks at my past in my life. I did what I had to survive because I didn't have anyone. You had help. You had Celis, you had Cernia, you had the Sartori. You had somebody to raise you. I didn't. I don't hold that against you. In fact, I'm so glad that you had that. But don't hold that fact over my head. You say you're tired. Get some good sleep tonight. Good night, sister.
Is it true about Mom? Is she in
Yeah.
there?
I was going to tell you, had you allowed me to come speak to you beforehand. But, here, you can hold her for a bit. And she hands Pelly the pseudo-dragon, and then walks back to her friends.
Don't go too far or the pseudo dragon will...
Yeah, not far enough that the pseudo-dragon would puff away, but...
Before you go, as future ruler, if you can keep the promises that I made to the Satori, I'm sure their favor will go to you as they would me. And I offer you this deal in good faith.
Duly noted. Thank you.
Then, thank you. And when you need me, know I will be there for you, sister.
And I for you.
I'm sorry I had to do everything I did, and that it hurt you. I just hope that you can see one day that we all had our parts to play. And she'll...
I'm sorry for your choices too. And she walks back to her friends.
And Pelly will fade into the crowd of people. And you kind of see her addressing some of the victims of the Scarred Woman and consoling them. And everything else. And that's where the session will probably end tonight.
Yay!
Good? Solid?
Nice work, everybody.
Polly thinks I am too much. Rude. I let her in my bag.
And you left her in the bag for months. But I will go ahead and
John
end the
got
session
weird.
here.
Yeah.
Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for everyone who watched.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank y'all, everybody.